We're back and better than ever here today at the Talladega Superspeedway on NASCAR Thunder 2004. It's the EA Sports 500. Just 8 races to go on the season and still a very tight points battle within the top 4. They're all within 1 race of each other. Will that be the case at the end of the day? Because this is going to be one heck of a 500-miler, the third to last 500-mile race this season for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. And we'll see if our driver, Terry Labonte, can get back in the championship hunt. Anything can happen here. He is 3 full race worth of points out, just over 3 full races worth of points out. It's going to take a lot to win the championship. Who knows, maybe he wins the last 8 races of the year, and Dale Jr. crashes out in the big one here. Maybe he, crashes at Martinsville. It's another tough track, and just like that, Labonte could be back in it. Who knows? Cap24, welcome to the stream. Oni Lester, welcome to the stream. 25-hour stream intensifies. Jeez, oh Pete's, man. Well, I wish you good luck. Hopefully you can make it to the end, and hopefully you are awake for it. That's for sure. Take it easy, though. You don't want to overdo it. Just warning you there. It can do more harm than good, on yourself, obviously. But anyway, now back to the intro. Usually I wait and read the comments and tell you guys, welcome back. But anyway, here we go. Talladega, we're actually about to get into qualifying. I didn't have enough time to qualify. Very, very minimal practice for me. Actually, I just wanted to make sure the handling was right when I got back on the racetrack. There's not really a lot you can do setup-wise because you can't add or take away downforce in the cars on the super speedways because of the restricted plates. So yeah, about to qualify. We'll set the running order for the EA Sports 500, and then we'll get right into the starting lineup after that. Probably the last wild card race of the season. So Labonte's got 2 laps to try and get it done. I do have milk once again with the Got Milk paint scheme, but I will not be dumping it over myself again if I win like we did at Indy. That was a one-time only thing. And also, if you wonder why I'm wearing a stocking hat, because that's a new look, because it is brutally cold outside, and I just got home from work like a half hour ago. A little over a half hour ago, and all I did was eat and then set everything up for the stream, so I've barely been home. I'm not cold anymore, but I didn't have time to change hats. Two laps for Terry Labonte to try and set the quick time. He scored 9 pole awards this season. Can he get a 10th here today at Talladega? Lap 1, 12th. He's going to have to pick up the pace. Idea, obviously, to lead as many laps as he can. Definitely doesn't want Dale Jr. leading any laps to the end of the season. The points gap is closened a little bit between first and second, but Jr. still has a 105-point lead coming into tonight's race. And again, the top 4 all within 1 race worth of points. Into turns 3 and 4 on the final lap of qualifying for Terry Labonte. Hey, we're 1 for 1 with this scheme when we actually have milk during the course of the stream, so maybe that's the good luck we need for today. It's just like the Cheez-It. We just haven't done it with as many races, so we don't have as much data to go back on. Second lap at the line for Terry Labonte, a little bit quicker. 51.544, but it's still 12th fastest. So Labonte qualifies 12th for today's race. Jeff Gordon will be on the pole. We'll go through the rest of... Gave me a like. Oh, thanks, man. Darren Dill, welcome to the stream as well. Yes, hit that like button if you haven't already. So about to get into this one. Again, we'll... Oh, that's weird. Just got a bunch of emails. You have mail. All right. There we go. Don't need Wi-Fi on the phone. Don't need to hog it up there. Let's get going.
To today's NASCAR Winston Cup Series event, the EA Sports 500, live on MRN from the Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama. We should be in for quite a show today, Barney.
Let me sum it up for you all. 2.6 miles, 4 lanes, 190 miles an hour. Just doesn't get much better. Let's just hope these guys can stay out of the big one.
Jerry Labonte is getting aggressive on the track with some other drivers.
Every driver in Winston Cup has had a bit of trouble on the racetrack at one time or another. As long as they keep their composure, everything should work out okay.
Bobby Labonte comes to the track with the hopes of maintaining his top 5 points position.
Being in the top 5 is a huge boost in self-confidence. I know everyone on that team is very happy with their performance this season, and rightfully so.
Mark Martin has put together a great season so far.
Oh yeah, and all these guys in the top 5 are fighting hard week in and week out to gain as many points as possible. It's harder to pick up spots once you're into the top 5.
The engine's fired. I would like to also point out that I forgot to mention in the intro, but we are debuting our new name. I guess I'm still going to keep the channel name as my name so people know who I am, but this is now going to be Keegan's Racing Channel, hence the name KRC. So this is the, I guess, debut race on KRC. Jeff Gordon on the pole, as mentioned. Dale Jarrett will start outside pole in second for tonight's race. Gordon, 2 wins on the year. Dale Jarrett, very good on these restricted plate racetracks. Ricky Craven, Kevin Harvick in row 2. Craven won our Season 2 Daytona 500. Harvick won our Season 1 500. We'll see how they do today. Bill Elliott, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in row 3. Jr. again the points leader, 105-point lead coming into today's race. Matt Kenseth and Kenny Wallace will be in row 4. Kenseth riding that different but very nice paint scheme. Robbie Gordon and Ryan Newman will be in row number 5. Newman has not really had the best of luck throughout his career in the super speedways, but we'll see what he can do today. Elliott Sadler, Terry Labonte will be in row 6. Labonte won the Aaron's 499 at Talladega earlier this season. Bobby Labonte and Rusty Wallace will be in row 14. Bobby Labonte is making a championship run. He is up to second in points. He was 9th, just 11 races to go, but 3 wins in that stretch and 7 top 5s in that stretch have got him right back in the hunt. Tony Stewart, Jeff Green will be in row 8. Johnny Benson and Ward Burton will be in row number 9. Ricky Rudd, Michael Waltrip back in row 10. Jimmy Johnson, Greg Biffle in row 11. Row number 12, it'll be Casey Mears and Mark Martin. In row 13, we've got Brett Bodine and Sterling Marlin. Jonathan Rogers, Jake Bright, welcome to the stream. How's it going, Jake? Joe Nemechek and Jeremy Mayfield in row 14. Row 15, we've got Steve Park and Christian Fittipaldi. In row 16, Jerry Nadeau and Kevin LePage. 2 rookies back in row 17, one a full-time driver, still in the Rookie of the Year standings lead with just 8 races to go. That's Jamie McMurray and the part-time rookie on the outside of him, Stanton Barrett. Mike Skinner and another part-time rookie driver in row 18 of Ashton Lewis. In row 19, we've got Kyle Petty and Kenny Schrader. Jack Sprague, Jeff Burton back in row 20. Look out for Burton. He's won a couple times at Talladega in his long NASCAR career. In row 21, Kurt Busch and Hermie Sadler. Kurt Busch had a solid race yesterday at at Dover. And David Green will be starting last in today's field. So Jeff Gordon is going to lead the field to the green. He's been fading back in the points, but starting on the pole, that could be a good start for him here today. And here we go. Green flag is about to wave. Jeff Gordon leads the field to the green at Talladega. It's going to be a wild, wild race today with championship implications on the line as we're late in the season. This is going to make or break some drivers' seasons. Might give some of those underdogs, as far as how far back they are in the points, maybe another chance to get right back in it today if we get a decent amount of drivers, especially championship front runners, involved in the big one. And as they get up to speed on lap 1, Jeff Gordon's still going to continue to lead off turn 4, it looks like, and he should be able to lead lap 1 here in Talladega. See if the Labonte brothers might be able to work together. Bobby's in line on the bottom lane, right behind Terry. Sadler pulls the block on Kenny Wallace. Terry Labonte getting a big run to the back of Ryan Newman into turn 1 now. So Gordon leads lap 1. That's 5 bonus points for him. Joshua Rumsey, welcome to the stream as well. Yeah, I got the glitchy camera back up again, for those of you that were wondering. Or have noticed. 3 wide for second place. Third place, rather. Going to be seeing a lot of 3 wide action today. Ricky Craven ran really good at Dover yesterday. Finished in the top 10. And like mentioned, he won the Daytona 500 earlier this season. Craven takes it 3 wide to the inside again through the tri-oval. Now he blocks Kenseth. Labonte kind of got in the back of Kenseth. He couldn't check up in time after Kenseth checked up. Ricky Craven's trying to block Terry Labonte down the back straightaway. Look at that, 2x2 up towards the front. Ooh, Labonte to the outside of Craven, but he doesn't have a lot of help. He does have Kenseth behind him, but not a lot of help in front of him to keep a run in the draft. Bonnie's going to have to be careful trying to get around Dale Jr. She's going to maybe sit behind him and draft him for now. He doesn't want to push Jr. to the lead. This is the last driver he wants leading a lap today. It's the last driver anybody wants leading a lap to get any sort of bonus points. Whether it's 5 for leading a lap or 10 for leading the most. And Dale Jr. is so good at Talladega, he's won here 5 times in his NASCAR career. Even up to this point in the early going of his career, he would have already won 4. Sorry, not 4. He would have won 3, I guess, technically, because this is the 2003 season, not the end of it. Junior's already going for 3rd. He's been underneath Harvick. Kenseth's got a big run now. Multi-time winner at this racetrack. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. Look at how bunched together the pack is. Jeff Gordon's led every lap so far. 2x2 at the front of the field. Gordon's just trying to hang on for dear life. You're going to see comers and goers all day long today. Terry's still drafting off Dale Jr. Big run to the inside. Jr. went high to block Kevin Harvick. And Jr. just ran Labonte all the way down to the inside. Really door checked him going into turn 1. That could have been the big one right there. Gordon, meanwhile, lost the lead on the outside. He's back to 3rd. Big run by Junior's teammate Jeff Green on the inside. Hard to tell who's leading right now. Not like NASCAR Heat 5 or even the later EA games. After this season, we'll be able to tell who the leader is at all times on the track map, but they don't have it in NASCAR 2003 and prior. Look at this run Terry Labonte has down to the inside. Kenseth tried to block, but he couldn't. All the way below the WL line. No out of bounds today. As Labonte will take over the 3rd spot. Jeff Gordon trying to go back for the lead again. Gordon got a huge run. Kind of pushed the race leader out there as well. Labonte trying to get a big run in line behind Gordon. Big run to the inside. Dale Jarrett leads this race in the 88 UPS Ford. Now to the outside, that's probably going to help Jeff Gordon down the back straightaway. He's got Kenseth right behind him. Gordon's getting a big run himself. Gordon to the inside. He wants the lead again, but a block by Jarrett. Again, Labonte to the inside of Gordon in the center of turns 3 and 4. Kenseth still on the outside as well. Bill Elliott trying to get in the top 5. He's on the outside. Actually in the 5th spot right now. Labonte trying to side draft Kenseth a little bit. Jarrett with a block on Gordon. That really stalled the outside lane once again. And look at the run on the bottom Labonte's got. He didn't even get that much of a run in the draft. That's just how much the outside line checked up. Jarrett still led the lap. So Terry's still looking for his first set of bonus points. 3 wide, back for 4th. But Labonte's up to 2nd. Race high in the first 7 laps. Big run down the back straightaway. Jarrett couldn't block it. Kenseth down low to help Labonte. And Terry Labonte leads off of turn 4 on lap 8. Hopefully he can lead back to the line for his own sake and get himself 5 bonus points for leading his first lap. I mentioned this could make or break a lot of drivers' season up to this point. And Labonte winning at Talladega earlier this year, trying to go for the Dega sweep in this 2003 season. 15 likes already right now. Thanks for everybody hitting that like button. It's awesome. We'll try to get to 30 by the end of the race. How about that? That should be our goal today. 30 likes. I think we can get there. The debut race on KRC. Named after myself, of course. Keegan's Racing Channel. Trying to make it seem a little bit more authentic, more realistic every growing day. Ricky Craven's trying to lead his first lap. He's outside the top 10 in points, but so is Terry Labonte, I guess, at this point. He's still 12th in the standings. He's been just kind of neutralized in 12th place the last few races, even after DNFing at Dover and New Hampshire, for that matter. Back-to-back races, Labonte has failed to finish. He's only won 2 races of the last 15. It's just not been the right second half of the year for Labonte that he had hoped for. Bill Elliott was able to get to 2nd. He's really pulled away, kind of pushed Labonte up there, and Elliott's trying to lead his first lap. You got to figure, too, this could be the last chance for a lot of drivers. Yeah, the Clash is going to be run on Tuesday night next week, so don't forget that. I'm hoping I can get NASCAR 05 by then so we can do the Bud Shootout that day. If not, then I don't know if we're going to be streaming because I'm not going to be able to get a full race in before the Clash starts with having to work on Tuesday. Thursday I don't have to work, so that might be more manageable with the dual races on the Thursday, but man, Newman is all over him. Newman's still in the championship hunt. He comes into this race 8th in the standings. And he's kind of turned things on in the second half of the year as well. Looks like one driver's lost the draft at the rear of the field. All 42 of them in one giant pack right now. Actually, it looks like a second group is starting to form going into turns 1 and 2. Maybe about 10 to 15 cars back there. It's about 30 of them all battling for the lead. Bobby Labonte 2nd in points. Having a heck of a late season surge. Trying to get around his brother. Now he's kind of behind him in line on the inside. Jeff Green had a run to the top. He's got Newman behind him. Labonte trying to hold the lead. Off of turn 4. Not going to be able to do it. Wow, Elliott's got a big run. Thought he was going to go up the middle there. Decides to go all the way to the outside behind Newman, and Jeff Green will lead his first lap of the night. 3 wide for the lead. Probably won't be the last time you'll see that today. Ryan Newman up the middle. Labonte's really losing a lot of ground. Newman doesn't have the help behind him as well. And now Bobby Labonte's going to try to pull out, and he's going to try to get to the lead going into turn 3. Terry Labonte's pushing Ryan Newman right now into the corner. Nobody's going to the outside or inside yet. Both the 1 and the 18 go to the inside. Wow, Dale Jr.'s really fading back in the middle of his pack. All 43 cars still in the lead lap, though, and in this race. A single file for a moment. Big run by Terry Labonte into turn number 1. Newman pulls the block, trying to hang on to 4th. Oh, Newman checks up. He had a hole, and I thought he was going to get to the inside. Labonte just tried to shove him right in there, and Newman did not want to go with the run he had for whatever reason. That would have been a great opportunity to at least probably get to second place. And Labonte's got a push on the inside. He's going for the lead. They fan out nearly 4 wide. Now 3 wide into the corner. Newman did not give Labonte any room on the inside. Newman cannot, or sorry, I should say Labonte could not get off of him. Bobby Labonte takes the lead, and Newman basically took Terry Labonte's line away. That caused a pretty significant contact there, and now 4th on back is kind of faded. About a 1.5 seconds off the lead, but if they stay in this big giant pack, they're going to just swallow these guys up alive after. Waltrip to the outside. He's trying to get a draft off his teammate Jeff Green. Oh boy! That was a bad block by Labonte. Basically just put Ricky Craven right in the wall. Down the back straightaway. Thought he could squeeze in between him and Waltrip, and I guess he couldn't. I got the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It could really go either way, but I've got the Chiefs. It's like somebody's blowing an engine on the racetrack. Not sure exactly who it is yet. Somebody's way, way off the pace going into turn 3. Likely an engine failure. They're going to try to nurse it all the way back around to pit road. Bonnie up high to try and block and hold on to 5th. He was only able to lead for about 4 or 5 laps before he lost the lead. And then some. Bonnie almost got split 3 wide up the middle. Couldn't tell who that driver was on pit road. Jarrett made a great move to the outside. Faked low, went high. No help on the bottom once again for Terry Labonte. Dale Jarrett, Kevin Harvick kind of work underneath him. Bonnie's losing ground. Trying to stay with Harvick down the back straightaway at least. Pulling that group of cars behind him. I think he's slowly trying to get to Kevin Harvick. All he needs is somebody to almost tandem draft with. Well, at least you'll get to see some of the game, especially with your Chiefs playing. Stewart's up in the top 10. Another massive run by Terry Labonte down the back straightaway. Takes it to the inside of Kevin Harvick. And he'll make the pass going into turns 3 and 4. Now trying to draft with Dale Jarrett. So Labonte trying to work his way back through the field again. Things were getting a little crazy there. Then it started to get spaced out. And it will probably get congested together once again here shortly. 3 wide through the tri-oval. Labonte all the way to the bottom underneath Jarrett and Waltrip. Now underneath Jeff Green for 3rd. Bobby Labonte still leads this race. Terry is up to third place. And he's coming in hot. These two are not staying single file up there either. I mean, they are staying single file to a certain extent, but they're not necessarily drafted behind one another either. The pit window here tonight for fuel will be 35 to 40 laps. Never know. Could be a fuel mileage race. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. What happened in Dover? It was just... I did not have a good handling car from the start, and we made it about 100 laps, and that was it. That was pretty much the story. I was super tight on the first run, and then I loosened it up, and I loosened it up too much on the second run. We didn't make it out of the second run. We crashed. Lost all our track position on a restart. Mainly because Kurt Busch kind of shoved us out of the way, but Bill Elliott's still trying to go for the lead. I don't think he's led yet. Labonte pulling the pack of cars behind him. Huge run behind the 9 of Elliott. But now that Elliott's got a little bit of help from Terry Labonte, that might be the run. Elliott needs to get underneath Bobby Labonte. Labonte pulls the block on Bill Elliott at the line. Looks like Terry Labonte's going to steal the lead away and clear Bobby Labonte into turn 1. Hard charge on the inside lane. The Labonte brothers are 1-2. They finished 1-2 twice this season. Terry got the upper hand both times. Bobby's starting to charge back up on the outside once again, though. Not anymore. It looked like Ricky Rudd left him. Jeff Green's going to pull up on the outside. Bill Elliott pulled to the outside as well, but he's in front of Labonte. Rudd's got a big run on the inside in the 21 for the Wood brothers. Jeff Gordon back in the mix again after starting on the pole and leading the first 4 laps, before losing the lead to Jarrett early on. Already 6 different leaders. And even more lead changes. Already seen Gordon lead multiple times. Terry Labonte's led multiple times now, and even Jarrett led twice. So if I do my math correctly, I believe we've had 9 lead changes in the first 22 laps. Ooh, Elliott to the outside. Sounded like somebody made contact off turn 4. I don't know if the Gibbs cars of Labonte and Stewart might have gotten together. Terry pulls again on the front stretch. He hasn't cleared Bill Elliott. Elliott's still to his outside, but Terry did lead the lap. Trying to lead as many laps as he can and score all the points he can in these final 8 races of the season. So you never know what could happen. We haven't even really seen Junior in the top 10 since the very start. You'd have to assume he's going to have a fast car by the end of the race. Maybe he's hanging back in that second group, waiting for the inevitable big one. There are some drivers we have to get payback on. Michael Waltrip, Sterling Marlin, Kurt Busch now after last night, Jack Sprague after New Hampshire. So, I mean, and I said I was going to get back at all 4 of them before the end of the season. It was 2, but over the last 2 races, it's grown to 4. We will get back at them eventually. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity. Boy, today to bring out a big one and take out a lot of the championship leaders. That could be the case. Cars in the wall. Jeff Green and Terry Labonte. Labonte got hooked on the 1 of Green. And both cars go into the wall. We stay green here at Talladega. Look at all the ground lost. Battling for the lead, Labonte pushed tight up the racetrack into turn 1. Contact with Jeff Green, both cars on the wall. Pretty much everybody else escaped to the inside. No heavy damage, luckily, on both cars, but obviously a lot of lost track position. Well, here comes Sterling Marlin. I guess now would be the good time to get the payback on Marlin because Labonte needs his track position back. It wasn't like they were necessarily battling too hard. Labonte's car just could not hook the inside lane at all. Hopefully Jeff Green's not too upset. Labonte in line behind Marlin. Didn't think we were going to get payback on him this early in the race, but I mean, it has been a few weeks. He's actually +2 right now. So we draft behind him. I don't know. It's going to be tough to get to his outside. Marlin's been known for blocking a lot this season. Big run now by Labonte, and he turns Marlin. He turns Sterling Marlin, going into the corner as he goes to the inside of the racetrack. Payback on Marlin. The field checks up behind. Hopefully he didn't wipe back up in the center of the racetrack. And we got our first caution of the day. So race back to the caution flag at lap 26. Labonte, he's got one of his 4 drivers payback. There's a huge gap. I don't know if they just checked up after they saw Marlin spinning. And Marlin's not even a rival. He's not even to -60, so that worked perfectly for us. Oh, Nemechek trying to get an extra spot. Back to the line. I think Nemechek's going to have a nose out in front of Labonte. So our lap 26 caution is our first of the race. Payback. Multiple races in the making. I don't think anybody else got a piece of it. Labonte turned Marlin going into turn 1. That was really weird how he didn't just turn all the way back up the racetrack and slid down the banking into the grass instead. Wait and see if everybody else pits up ahead. No, they're going to stay out. So the entire field going to stay out of the pits. Labonte didn't want to lose all of his track position right there. Green flag back in the air, and here we go once again. 16 likes already right now. Thanks for everybody hitting that like button once again. Green flag back in the air after the first caution of the race. Caution's going to help these guys save a little bit of fuel, but not a whole lot. Marlin lost all of his track position. I mean, he's outside the top 30, well outside the top 30. Probably right around 40th now. Bonnie's going to have to be careful. Junior already tried to door check him once. Junior better watch himself here because he's had to have known what happened under that caution, even if he didn't see it. I'm sure his crew chief radioed into him. And Labonte might be looking out for a little bit of revenge here on the drivers he needs revenge on. Junior took one swing at us, but I'm not too upset about it. But if he takes another one, I guess we can add him to the list. And he is the championship leader, so he better watch out. Junior's got a lot more to lose than most of the drivers in the field here today. Big run down the back straightaway for Terry Labonte. To the inside. Johnny Benson kind of blocking him off. Benson's giving him zero room getting into the corner. Terry's lost a little bit of speed in this race car. Guess he hit the wall maybe a little harder than what he thought going into turn 1 with Jeff Green midway through that opening fuel run. Roush cars, well, at least one of them on the outside of Kenseth. He'll get on by Labonte on the inside. He's got Casey Mears behind him. Mears had a top 5 in the Daytona 500 earlier this year. So he's had at least a fast run. Hopefully Labonte can repair most of this damage on pit road. He should be able to. It's not much on the damage indicator, at least. Labonte should be able to repair it. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day trying to stay in front of this pack. And 4.5 seconds off the lead as well. Probably going to be a little bit of pit strategy for Terry Labonte. Likely going to take right sides only under the stop. Going to see a lot of two-tire strategy calls out of the 5 crew, at least with the green flag pit stops in today's race. Man, Labonte got tight again. Contact with Mears and then contact with the 22 of Ward Burton down the racetrack. A little bit of ricocheting going on there. Mears still trying to swerve through the trioval to get around Labonte. Really check this entire backpack up. Kind of spaced him out a little bit too, with those guys having to duck and evade on the inside line when Burton got sideways off of 4. Guys could probably go a few more laps on fuel. I'd imagine they're going to be a lot closer to lap 40 than what they originally were going to be up until that caution. They were probably looking at pitting at maximum about 37, 38 laps into the run, but now it's more like 40. Hopefully Dale Jr. Oh, trouble off turn 2. The 0-1 of Nadu trying to block Rusty Wallace. That checks the whole pack up. We actually stay green. They didn't completely spin, but the 0-1 was pointed towards the wall, and I think he got into it a little bit. That leaves just the 5 and the 41 in this, what was originally second group, is no longer a second group. He's going to try to stay out as long as he can here, because he's going to have a two-tire strategy anyway, so he's going to gain a lot of track position. Mears gets a run. Labonte's going to let him go and try to draft behind him, but Casey might be coming to pit road at any point too, so he's kind of got to be careful. Casey Mears actually looks like he is coming to pit road this time anyway, so much for that. Well, Casey Mears didn't come to pit road that time. Surprised.
Got one down left. You let him by. He's going to make things tough on you. All clear, buddy. Careful. There's some cars entering the track ahead. Number 23, down left. You're clear. The 40 car wants to get by you. Leaders are pit.
There's Jerry Nadu. Oh, Jerry tried to block the 5 of Labonte. What was that all about? Nadu was still slow trying to get up to speed. Labonte coming in hot, was just trying to draft behind him, and then he was going to pull high to get around him when he got there. And Nadu just pulled a mean block on him. Oh, man, Nadu almost took out that lap car. Oh, my gosh. Ashton Lewis.
You let him by. He's going to make things tough on you. Clear.
A lot of drivers are lapped down. We've seen big accidents in the middle of green flag stops at Talladega on this game. And in fact, earlier this season when we were at Dega, we had 4 cautions and 2 big ones. Lonnie's got to make sure he's going to come to pit road this time, so he'll clear Ward Burton, get to the inside lane. And on lap 38, Terry Labonte's going to make his first pit stop of the day. Try not to lock the tire. Well, he did lock the tires a little bit. Right side's only, full tank of fuel. And damage will be repaired for Terry Labonte. No adjustments. 17 likes right now. Thanks for everybody again hitting that like button. Fast pit stop, and again, with just taking the 2 tires there, that is really going to help Terry Labonte quite a bit. That was the majority of the lead pack. Most of them have already pit. Labonte might not have anybody to draft with. That's going to be a problem. Race leaders are on pit road as we speak. I think they're just coming off the pit lane now. Well, Labonte's got his teammate, Joe Nemechek. That might be just enough to draft. Get a little bit of help. Labonte's still getting up to speed. He's going to let Nemechek get to his inside, and hopefully Labonte has speed in his race car. He took only 2 tires, so it might be a little more difficult.
Number 30 is inside. All clear, mate.
Yeah, Labonte's able to draft with Nemechek. This could be a good allyship between the 25 and the 5. Again, the 2 Hendrick Motorsport Chevrolets. Joe Nemechek was also very fast in a super speedway race this season. Remember, he did not win. He finished 2nd in the Daytona 500 earlier this year. See if he's got some of that speed again today, currently in 20th. Surprised Terry Labonte didn't gain more time taking right sides only there. Very little gain. At least he came out with a drafting partner. He was right there with Casey Mears. Just goes to show how far behind both Mears and Labonte were. They only had themselves to draft with. Labonte's a pretty good push car, it looks like, when he could stay in the draft. Nemechek's running the inside and the corners. That helps so much, too. The AI like to run the top a lot, for whatever reason, on the super speedways. Decker isn't going to... Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think that she was going to go there. Reunion Bros Racing. Xfinity Series, right? Yeah. Only 5 races? Wow, that's a very limited schedule. Like, usually you see part-time rides of more than that. Unless it's like in the Cup Series, but there's only so many Cup rides that come about. And most Cup teams want to run full-time. But yeah, I'm surprised. She hasn't really performed well, obviously, even in the Truck Series, but, you know, a full-time truck ride, I'm surprised wasn't even there. She brings in a lot of sponsorships, so I'm surprised she couldn't get more than 5 races in the Xfinity Series, too. Look at how far... Oh, sorry, I thought that was Bill Elliott. It's the other Ray Abraham Dodge. Same paint scheme, of course. Jeremy Mayfield. And the 2 Hendrick cars just blow right by him. Terry Labonte and Joe Nemechek were a second faster than the leaders over the last 4 laps combined. They are hauling with this 2-car tango. 2 Hendrick Chevrolets working very well together. Nemechek still trying to go for his first win of the season. Labonte. Meanwhile, I believe we have 9 wins, if I'm not mistaken. Now we got 9 pole awards. We were like right there with wins. We were at 8 or 9, but this could be our 10th today. You never know. Can't remember exactly what we were on. All those DNFs kind of got my brain jumbled. We've only won twice in the last 15. I can tell you guys that much. Only 4 top 10s in that stretch. Not out of the championship hunt yet, but we about killed ourselves as far as that goes. We'll see. Driving the number 23. Gotcha. Is that a Toyota back team? I don't even know what manufacturer that is. I know she was with Toyota in their pipeline. I don't know if she still was or not, though. Look at that. Plus 92. It's going to be plus 100 here before long. I mean, it was probably going to go back that way anyway because we were teammates, but definitely build a lot of partners here with the drafting help at Talladega, that's for sure.
Come on, buddy, we're 6 seconds back. Let's get up there.
Okay, locked it in. See if Nemechek's going to make some moves down the back straightaway. No, he just kind of stays in line for the moment. Look at the run Terry Labonte's got on the inside to get by Nemechek. Pulls to the back bumper of Matt Kenseth. They're booking it now. These are the guys that are all just outside the top 10. The top 10 are in about another pack. Ooh, boy, man, Labonte's all over the back of Kenseth trying to push him, and into the side of the 32. Kenseth couldn't hang on to the bump draft. These bumpers don't align as well as the Gen 6 cars that you see nowadays, or even the car tomorrow. And that was a little costly. Labonte was only trying to help Kenseth. And Kenseth just got a little tight with that push in the tri-oval and got into Craven, and that just checked up all 4 of these guys. Number and style looks like 2311. You haven't even looked at it. Take a look. Labonte gonna let Kenseth go. Labonte knows he's really good when he's the push car. Obviously, he was pushing Kenseth a little too much there last lap, but we'll see if he can run him back down again. Worst case scenario, Labonte will just work with his teammate Nemechek. Be nice to work with other drivers though, get more allies coming out of this race with Martinsville on the back burner. I don't think that's the next race. Yeah, we go to Kansas tomorrow. And then I think we go to Lowe's Motor Speedway at Charlotte after that. So I think we got a couple races before Martinsville, but that's definitely coming up in the next couple races. Still got Phoenix and Rockingham, too. Yeah, like, those are 3 of the last 5 races. Martinsville, Phoenix, and Rockingham. Not in that order, but... Well, I mean, in that order, but not actually racing those 3 in a row. But definitely have the capability of making more rivals accidentally, of course. Well, Labonte's going to need another caution at some point. And, oh, man. Lost whatever points I was gaining there with Kenseth. But anyway, as far as like needing a caution, what I was going to say was Labonte still needs payback on Michael Waltrip, Jack Sprague, and Kurt Busch. Haven't seen Kurt Busch, but he qualified 42nd, so he was probably struggling at the beginning trying to find drafting help with the slower cars at the rear of the field. Jeff Burton also started towards the back, though, so I guess he had his teammate. Because Burton started 40th, right in front of him. Craven's kind of keeping up with Terry Labonte and Matt Kenseth right now as well. At least Kenseth's running the inside in the corners.
Number 32 is gaining on you.
I don't think Kenseth's very fast. He might be fast like in the draft, kind of like Labonte is. But when he's the lead car, it doesn't seem like he's getting away because he kind of holds Labonte up a little bit, and then Labonte fades away. And I just don't think that's fast enough because when Nemechek and Labonte were together, they were actually picking up time in the leader. You never know, though. That top 10 could be single file now. And if they are single file, that's just going to allow them to pull away a little bit more than this group back here. Currently at lap 50 at Talladega for the EA Sports 500 right here on KRC. These full race live streams with a realistic broadcast every day, so if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We're very close to 750. Almost 3/4 of the way to 1,000. Still in the first calendar year of the channel, though that will be wrapping up. We'll be at the 1 year Annie here very soon. Within a couple weeks.
Keep digging. We still need to pick up about 8 seconds on the leader.
Oh, I think Bobby Labonte's got a problem. Championship implications if he does. Terry Labonte was second in points coming into this race and has been having such a stellar second half of the year. And all of a sudden now, Bobby Labonte, with an engine failure, is done. Man, he led laps early on. He had another fast car. Turns 1 and 2, he got a little tight again, and Kenseth was able to hook the bottom, and just like that, Labonte's lost whatever drafting help he did have with Matt Kenseth there for that little bit, even though they weren't really gaining much time. Well, hang on. Labonte hasn't completely lost him yet. I don't think he's going to get back to him, though. Kenseth's not close enough to draft that pack ahead of him, though. Terry's just a little bit too far behind. Yep, so it's like Labonte has lost the draft here. Very tough break, though, for Bobby. It wasn't the big one that took him out today, but it was an engine failure, and that is very, very tough. Well, running in the top 10 nonetheless. And again, he led laps early on. And that's just going to grow Dale Jr.'s points lead even more. He came in with a 105-point lead. We haven't really seen much of him. I think he's in the top 10 as we speak, though. Labonte's going to have to wait on this next car, which is likely Ricky Craven, and then Labonte's going to have to hope that he can draft well with Ricky. $14 seconds off the lead. Well, we know Terry Labonte and Joe Nemechek worked well together, so, worst case scenario, if Craven and Labonte can't work that well together, then Labonte knows he can draft with his teammate. Going to try to pull up in front of Craven here, try to give Ricky a little bit of a run in the draft and let Craven get to his inside into 3 and 4 now. And Terry Labonte's going to try to pull behind him and hopefully suck right back up to him. Yep, should be able to. Ricky was up towards the front, led a couple laps, dropped back, kind of like Terry Labonte's case, only Terry's led a couple different times in the race. Craven only led for about those 2 laps, and that was it. Coming off that top 10 at Dover, as mentioned. Maybe you can get back-to-back top 10s. Maybe you can get that second win of the season here today. Who knows? For a guy that only had 2 career wins. Might double that this season alone. Both on super speedways, but a win is a win. So hard to come by in the Cup Series. Not everybody that straps up those seatbelts can get one. These two should definitely catch Kenseth with Matt Kenseth running by himself. It's going to be a choice at that point on whether or not Labonte hangs with Craven or he goes with Kenseth. It's really going to depend, honestly, who's on the inside. If Craven goes to the bottom instead of the top to try and get around Kenseth, then Labonte should just follow Craven. Hopefully Craven doesn't get too big of a run off the back of Kenseth and just pull away from Labonte, and then those two work together. That'd be the worst case scenario for Terry Labonte. Yeah, Craven's trying the outside. That's just not going to work. Kenseth drops to the bottom, so it looks like Labonte's going to go with Kenseth. Didn't really work out too well the first time, but you need all the drafting help you can get. Kenseth's willing to work the bottom lane. He was willing to block Craven, so Craven's run just kind of stalled out a little too much. But now as we say that, Kenseth's kind of running the high lane. In turns 3 and 4 at least. Craven looked underneath Terry Labonte, but once he pulled out of line, he didn't have enough help from behind him with only 3 cars up here. About halfway through this fuel run, these guys can probably go to about lap 76. At least Labonte could probably go to lap 76. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Busch Clash in a handful of days. I know, Tuesday night. I'm pumped for that. It's all I'm going to be thinking about when I'm at work. Be like, NASCAR is back. Can't wait to get off so I can watch the race. Guess that's the problem with having it middle of the week, but at the same time too, I get off of work and that's something big I can look forward to. I look forward to doing these streams too when I get off work, but just the long off season of NASCAR, it's going to feel nice. I don't think they've got the starting lineup off of that. It's always a random draw that does a starting lineup for the Clash anyway. So it'll be interesting to see where Chase Elliott starts, because if he has to start towards the back, it's only a 35-lap race. So there's no guarantees he's going to win if he doesn't have the track position, because it is hard to pass on road courses. Some more than others, of course. Luke Jarvis 07, welcome to the stream. Yeah, Kenseth and Labonte have just absolutely left Ricky Craven in the dust. Those really gotten spaced apart. No big one today, but we did have one caution for a spin going into turn number 3 at the time. Or sorry, no, it was turn 1. When Labonte got his payback on Sterling Marlin. That was at lap 26. That's our only caution, and things have gotten really spaced out. We've had green flag pit stops since then. We'll be having green flag pit stops in another 10 to 20 laps again, and hopefully Bonnie didn't lose Kenseth. I don't think he lost him. He came close to losing him, though. Slasher God, welcome to the stream. You're late, but better late than never. Still in the first half of the race here for the EA Sports 500 on the newly renamed KRC, Keegan's Racing Channel. I'm keeping the actual channel name itself as mine, but during these full race broadcasts, that's when I'm going to start branding, and we got the new logo in. So already gotten some comments about the new logo, and they're digging it. I was too, honestly, when I came up with that. I wasn't sure, like, for a color base, what was going to look better. I thought either red or black was going to look pretty good, but I just went with a standard black. If I went red, I was probably going to have like a black background to it. Yeah, again, was just kind of briefly describing the race up to this point. Things are kind of spaced apart now. That's because of how jumbled everything got in the last restart. And then green flag pit stops on top of it. But we had that one caution at lap 26 for Marlin spinning going into turn 1 after getting turned by Labonte. Labonte got his payback on Marlin. Still got 3 other drivers to get payback on, perhaps, at some point in time, so you never know there. Oh, man. Kenseth almost drilled Ricky Rudd on the bottom of the racetrack. So that is another driver that was running in the top 10 that has blown an engine. First Bobby Labonte, now Ricky Rudd. Labonte, a championship contender. Rudd's actually in the top 10 in points, too. I think he was coming in 7th in points. So 2 drivers in the top 10 in points are already done for the day. We mentioned that this is a race. This is probably the last wild card race of the year that can make or break a driver's championship run. Guess you can, probably throw Martinsville maybe in there as well. We do have some other 500-mile races, so as far as trying to get that engine to last and the endurance of it, this could be some of those races as well as it goes to Atlanta and Lowe's Motor Speedway for those last 2 500-milers. I guess we go to Rockingham as well. That's going to be a tough track. It's also to the end of the year, and that's the second to last race. 4 mile and a halves yet this year, and Labonte hasn't won on a mile and a half yet. Oh my gosh. Can't believe I did that. Down the straightaway. I guarantee if I didn't have this analog stick, I wouldn't be doing that. That's going to be terrible if Labonte loses the draft. That was probably the worst spot to hit the wall, too, right in the middle of the straightaway. Looks like Labonte's slowly pulling Kenseth back in, though. So he didn't completely lose him.
He's taking it easy on you. Does anyone else you can block him?
Well, we're plus 100 with Matt Kenseth. Awesome. Plus 100 with... I don't think we were plus 100 with Ricky Craven when we got it. We were in the 60s. We were plus 100 with Joe Nemechek, but he was our teammate already anyway. So he was already in the plus, but... making some allies here at Talladega today. Again, though, also to go back. 3 drivers we still got to get payback on to the end of the year. Jack Sprague, Michael Waltrip, and Kurt Busch. Still got 8 races. Well, 7 after this, but see how it goes. Terry Labonte's just trying to gain as much time as he could. Now, he took right side tires under the last stop, which was the first stop of the race, so we'll probably take left side tires this time. Try to gain a little bit more track position. He hasn't led a lot of laps today, so as far as trying to lead the most laps by the end of the race, we'll have to see if he'll be in contention for something like that. Still over half the race to go, so there is potential. All we need is one caution. Everything's going to be bunched back together again, and we'll have a giant pack. Plus the big one's what brings out the caution and takes out over half the field. But the way everybody's spread apart right now, I don't know. It's going to be tough for a caution to come out anyway with the field spaced apart like they are. But we got a lot of time for it. We've seen long green flag runs to the end of races before. I think more notably was at Darlington a handful of races ago in the Southern 500 where we went over 250 laps to the end of the race under green after 2 cautions in the first 100 laps. About a quarter of a tank of fuel left. Labonte should gain a little bit of time with left side tires only. Problem is he's 15 seconds off the lead, but he should gain about 7 or 8 seconds with that alone. He's just trying to maintain as much as he can with Kenseth. Yeah, pretty much with this game, as far as like the share draft goes, if you don't share draft with anybody, you really, especially in this instance right here where we have no help behind us, you can't stay in the draft. Ooh boy. Lonnie bobbled a little bit. In line behind Kenseth. Lonnie's been getting really loose here on these old left side tires. Now at the end of the next run, his car should be tighter when he takes lefts, and then he'll have old rights. That should be the way it goes. Or whenever he goes right sides, the car's going to loosen up automatically a little bit. Then it'll tighten up a little bit. Some wedge adjustments. Or sorry, with left sides. But he might make wedge adjustments along the way to try and balance it out. We've kind of been able to see what it's like now. Taking the right sides. So I think next time when we take the right sides, I'll tighten it. And then we'll see what the left sides are actually going to handle like before I actually make an adjustment next time we take left sides only. Just worry about trying to gain track position this first, well, I should say second pit stop. Well, there's Dale Jr. At least we know he's not leading, and he's outside the top 10, running in 14th, all by himself right now. Ooh, Jr. trying to block Matt Kenseth on the inside of the racetrack, still trying to block him. Got our first leaders coming to pit road. So some leaders in the pits. Kenseth on the inside lane. Dale Jr. still blocking though going into turn 1. This might not be good for Labonte. He's starting to lose Kenseth and Jr. because now they're starting to tandem with one another. Kenseth still looks low, though, down the back straightaway. He's still trying to get around him. That might allow Labonte to pull these guys back in again. And again, Jr. pulls a block on Matt Kenseth. Ooh, big run to the inside. Jr.'s going to get to the bottom underneath Kenseth. Dale Jr. right there. That actually might patch this friendship up between Jr. and Labonte. So it looks like Labonte's going to work with Dale Jr. Working with the guy he's trying to chase in the point standings. Very interesting. So Nemechek just coming out of the pits. Not one of the guys we need to get payback on, by the way. I'm not just going to turn the championship leader for no reason. Not a dirty driver when it comes to that. Well, at the end of the day, we have to finish ahead of Junior. If this was the last lap, I would be trying to get around him right now. Even though he'd probably be trying to hit us intentionally. But Junior hasn't led any laps yet today, and he's... Well, see, that's the thing. If the race leader pits, and I see that, then we have to get around Junior to make sure he doesn't get any bonus points for leading a lap, because he hasn't led yet. And Junior and Labonte are actually making up some good time right now. More time than what Kenseth and Labonte were making up both the 2 times that those 2 were drafting with one another. It's down below minus 60, so now if we try to pull out and make a pass on Junior at any point in time here, he won't take a swing at us anymore. Labonte's kind of hoping Junior stays out of the pits as long as Labonte's thinking about staying out, which is at least a couple more laps. These guys went 38 laps on the first run, but I guess there was a caution in there too that kind of helped these guys save fuel, so they might have to pit before lap 76. Labonte's got about a gallon of fuel left. So he's not going to pit this time. He'll probably end up pitting the following time by lap 74. Definitely going to have to watch out if Junior comes to pit road. Might be coming in this time. Yes, he is. Dale Jr. coming into the pits. Good thing, too, because Terry Labonte's actually going to lead this lap at the line. Labonte has already scored bonus points today.
Number 97 is inside. Clear all around.
No drafting help for Labonte this lap, though. Terry will be coming to pit road this time by. And again, it'll be left sides only. Second pit stop of the day for Labonte. Surprised he was able to go longer than everybody else because he wasn't the last driver out on the racetrack the last time. Kind of locked the tires up a little bit. Nothing too major. It wasn't speeding coming to pit road either, so that's good. Left side tires only. Full tank of fuel. No adjustments on Terry Labonte. Should be a little bit faster than the right side, only stopping so you're going over the pit wall and replacing them right there and not having to go all the way around the car. So that'll save a couple seconds on top of the two-tire stop as it is. There were no mistakes on the first stop. Hopefully there's no mistakes this time. Nope, no mistake. It was a little slower than projected, but still not bad. Labonte trying to get back out on the racetrack. He's might be a blend line violation, but oh man, Gordon's coming in hot. Oh, so is Stewart. Stewart just got in the back of Labonte. That was a risky call there for Terry Labonte, trying to pull up onto the racetrack a little early. And it kind of costed him. Luckily, it wasn't heavy damage, but it's damage nonetheless. Stewart ran right in the back of him. That was obviously all Labonte's fault. Gordon got on by at a hauling rate, so Jeff should be the leader, but he's all by himself with no drafting help. Look at the amount of time that Terry Labonte was able to gain. That two-tire stop. Making up that little extra time with Dale Jr. before the pit stops as well. Bill Elliott to the outside now. There's Kenseth. That's another spot. Not sure who the race leader is, but they've got a big lead still. Hopefully that damage isn't going to slow Labonte down too much. It's not a heavy damage, but it's still damage nonetheless. Plus, he's on two old right side tires. Labonte does get back around Stewart for fourth, and he's trying to draft with $1 million Bill Elliott. Awesome Bill from Dawsonville.
Right rear's getting forward. Take it easy out there. There's 4.5 seconds between you and the leader.
Oh boy. Overran the corner. Hopefully we don't lose the draft with Bill Elliott. I don't think we are. Well, it's not quite close enough to Gordon yet. Start pulling away from Labonte. Ideally, if Labonte could start working with Gordon when he gets up there, that'd be two Hendrick cars linked up just like you saw with Bill Elliott and Jeff Gordon earlier. Labonte physically pushing Bill Elliott now, trying to get him up there. Elliott used to race for Hendrick Motorsports back in the day, but he left even before Jeff Gordon stepped into that 24 car. Ryan Newman's got a huge run on the inside. Elliott's slowly pulling away behind Gordon now. Labonte's starting to reel him back in a little bit. Oh, we lost that. I didn't save it. He's going to make the move here. Is it going to be Elliott or Gordon? This is a battle for second. Again, whoever the race leader is just pulled away, but they've got no drafting help. We mentioned there was going to be a pack of cars eventually. All we needed was a caution. Well, how about not even a caution? Let's just make a green flag stops, and we might have a huge battle for the lead again. I didn't think that was going to happen. Not in that way, at least. So we're almost halfway done here today at Talladega. Elliott now looks to the inside of Jeff Gordon. Labonte just got to go with Elliott, the man on the inside, hanging his teammate Jeff Gordon out to dry. Stewart behind Gordon trying to help him out. And Labonte's back to third. It has been quite some time since he's been this far up in the running order. Gordon back to the outside. Oh man, he's trying to side draft Labonte in the tri-oval. Terry with another big run to the back of Elliott, not looking to make the pass on him. If he was the leader, then definitely, but they're trying to catch the race leader, Dale Jarrett, first. And then it will be a battle for the lead, and everybody will be trying to lead as many laps as they can once again. If Jarrett's been leading this whole time, he's probably got a lot of laps led in this race. It was just hard to tell from when Labonte was back around 15th to 20th. And again, hopefully he can keep up with these guys on those old right side tires throughout the course of this run. So who will get the run first? Will it be Labonte if he can pull out a line quick enough, or will it be Bill Elliott? Maybe somebody from behind like Gordon Harvick, Stuart Newman back there. Elliott's got a run on Dale Jarrett. Jarrett going to pull down with the block. Labonte all the way to the inside. He gets underneath Elliott. He's on the apron in turns 1 and 2, trying to get around Jarrett. Got to the inside, but he gets around Elliott, but he could not get around Dale Jarrett. But boy, did he try. Jarrett pulled down to block Elliott, and Labonte went all the way below the yellow line to make the pass. No penalty in this game. I don't penalize myself on the older games passing below the double yellow line. Well, it's not even a double yellow line at this point. But Jarrett bought himself a little extra time. He'll probably lead this lap. Labonte trying to hold on to second with Bill Elliott, Kevin Harvick right behind him. Labonte's getting a big run on Dale Jarrett going into turns 1 and 2 on the inside of the racetrack. Labonte's got to run. Where's he going to go? Let's look into the bottom right now. Jarrett is there. Down to the top. Back to the bottom again. Jarrett continues to block. Jarrett's probably going to try to make Labonte pass him on the outside, I'd have to imagine. Ryan Newman trying to get around Bill Elliott for third. At the line, Jarrett's still going to lead the lap with Labonte again to the inside into turn 1. And Terry Labonte back out in front at lap 83. Again, almost halfway done here today. In about 10 laps, we'll be halfway. Labonte didn't officially take the lead, though. He hasn't led a lap, and Jarrett with another hard charge on the outside with help from Elliott. That 88 car is really strong today. So led a lot of laps. Another massive run to the inside in turns 3 and 4 again for Terry Labonte. Trying to get help from Harvick, but Harvick's just a little too far back. Off of turn number 4. Jarrett still leads at the line. So Labonte never officially took the lead. Jarrett looks to block again. Almost made contact trying to crowd Labonte. And Terry Labonte's going to run. Now Elliott goes to the inside to help Terry out. He's not going to help Jarrett. Gordon's on the outside behind Dale Jarrett. We got a drag race now down the back that Jarrett wins again. Boy, that Roush Yates car is really fast. I shouldn't say Roush Yates' car. It's a Robert Yates car. The Yates engine. I believe Roush was using their own engines at this time. That's what I meant to say was Roush Yates engines, but now that I'm correcting myself, I believe at this time they had separate engines. Separately built engines is the best way to describe it. I wonder if Jarrett's ever going to even lose the lead here. Gordon's led a decent amount of laps on the pole as well, but not as many as Jarrett. Another run to the inside. Elliott's really trying to push Labonte up there. Labonte blocks Gordon on the outside. He's got to get a big enough of a run behind Jarrett himself. Gordon pulls out of line. The Hendrick cars looking to work together into turn 3. But Gordon goes high behind Jarrett instead at the last second. Now he goes all the way to the bottom. Trying to help Labonte out off of turn 4. Jarrett trying to get a pole on the outside. Boy, it is close. Gordon still down low. Helps Labonte enough. Terry back out in front, finally clearing Dale Jarrett. And this time, he'll lead a lap. Labonte back out in front at Talladega. Great race between these 6 cars for the lead. All veterans of the sport at this point in time. Well, I guess Harvick and Newman are young, but they were dominant still. Actually, Newman was more dominant than Harvick. Harvick, of course, would go on to be a future champ. Jarrett on the top. Jarrett's got Harvick behind him. Elliott's got Newman behind him. And Gordon all the way down there. Look at Jarrett squeezing by on the outside. Boy, he had a head of steam. And Dale Jarrett back out in front after Labonte only led a lap. Well, lap that time at least. He led a couple laps earlier. Another big run into 1 and 2. And again, back to the inside. Couldn't hang on to it. It is now a 4-car group. I think Harvick and Newman made contact in the tri-oval and they lost some ground. Now it's just Dale Jarrett, Terry Labonte, Bill Elliott, and Jeff Gordon at the front. Labonte a little loose getting down into turn 3. Stayed with it. Clears Dale Jarrett back off of 4. Another lead change at the line. As long as Jarrett doesn't beat him back to the line. Wyatt Hanson, welcome to the stream. Actually, the double, well, yeah, it was painted double yellow at that point in time. But the actual, like, yellow line rule was implemented Talladega 2001. It was the first super speedway race after the death of Dale Sr. when they implemented the actual yellow line rule. But yeah, they didn't paint it double yellow until after the 2008 season, going into 2009, like he said. Bill Elliott, another hard charge on the outside. Gordon's trying to help his teammate. Elliott's going to lead this lap. No doubt about it. Well, we got 100 laps to go at Talladega. Oh, wow. Labonte clipped the apron into turn 1. Well, he drove it in there deep, but he does get around Elliott. Cleared him. What a pass. Gutsy move. Gordon up to second. Gordon looks high in front of Elliott. Comes Jarrett on the bottom. Jarrett's probably got the faster car of the 4 up at the front. Great racing here today at Talladega for the EA Sports 500 here on KRC. Again, if you are new to the channel, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We do these full race live streams every day with a realistic broadcast as well as other related NASCAR content. Still working on that predictions video for the start of the season, and then we'll have another one out for the Clash this weekend as well. In-depth analysis. We'll have some fantasy live advice throughout the course of the year with those predictions once the actual regular season kicks off with the 500 beginning next Sunday. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. Gordon trying to help Labonte. Jarrett doesn't have a lot of help on the outside. Drifting up the racetrack. They're 3 wide for the lead off of turn 4. Labonte in the middle. Jarrett on the outside and Jeff Gordon on the bottom. Who's going to lead this lap at the line? Oh boy, Labonte. How did Labonte hang on? What a move up the middle. Terry Labonte just got shot out of a cannon through the tri-oval, but I think that's because Bill Elliott went behind him instead of the other two. And Gordon and Jarrett didn't have any help, and after they went 3 wide for the lead, we've got a group of about a dozen cars now battling out in front. Johnny Benson's in the mix. He's trying to get his first win of the season. Jeff Burton, who started 40th, is up in this pack. Mark Martin's up here, championship contender. He's third in points coming into the day. Black Ace, welcome to the stream. It's been a heartbreaker the last 2 days, really a lot of the last week, unfortunately for us, Ace. We're 3 full race worth of points behind the points leader, Junior, coming into this race today. Junior's got a 105-point lead of his own right, but is outside the top 10. I don't even think he's in this lead group yet. That's good. He hasn't led a lap yet either. But it's Junior, it's Talladega, and it's the early 2000s in this game, so still going to have to look out for him by the end as long as he makes it through. Only 1 caution so far today. It was a single-car spin for Sterling Marlin. We have not had the big one yet. I'm sure it will strike. We had 2 of them the last time we were at Talladega. We had 3 of them in the Daytona 500, and we had 2 or 3 of them, at least 2, in the Daytona July race and the Pepsi 400 as well. So we have seen them this season on NASCAR Thunder 2004. They can strike at any moment. We still have half the race to go. Almost halfway. 2 more laps away from that point. Jarrett back to second again. Here comes Jeff Burton. Again from the 40th starting spot. He's up to second place on the inside of Dale Jarrett. Ryan Newman behind him in the 12. Jarrett with another strong run on the outside. He's got Gordon behind him. Burton on the inside behind Terry Labonte. Oh, man, almost some contact off of turn 4. Labonte got a little tight. Now he blocks Jarrett in the tri-oval. Down to the bottom to block Burton. Bonnie trying to lead as many laps as he can. You never know if he can end up leading the most at the end of the day. And Jarrett's led the most up to this point. So he definitely doesn't want Dale Jarrett to take the lead. Jarrett's still in the championship hunt as well. Yeah, this game doesn't penalize you. Most NASCAR games don't penalize you for going below the yellow line for whatever reason. I think the Technics games did it. But that was it. I don't think any other... Like, EA didn't do it. NASCAR Heat definitely doesn't do it. I'm kind of glad they don't because it's, you know, kind of one of those borderline calls. I try not to pass below the double yellow line, at least in today's games. These games here in the early 2000s, I don't care. The AI race so aggressively anyway. If I got to run, I'm taking it. As long as I don't obviously drive 4 lanes deep going into on the apron into a corner intentionally. Obviously, that's something else. You know, I race with my head. Ooh, Benson went to the apron. I think that was unintentional. He lost a lot of ground when he did that. The inside flees back a little bit. Newman's got to run on the top again. Mark Martin pulls out of line. Maybe a bad move. I think he did it a little too early. Harvick up the middle. Now he somehow gets to the outside behind Elliott. It looked like he was going to get in front of him, but he didn't. Getting 16 likes right now, just past halfway. Our goal is 30. Hopefully we can get there by the end of the day. Ryan Newman trying to take the lead. First time in a long time for him. Ooh, a little contact between Bill Elliott and Terry Labonte down the back straightaway as Newman has the lead going off into turn 3. And a big lead at that. Johnny Benson trying to help Labonte. Oh, contact off of turn 4. I think Harvick and Burton got together. Terry Labonte's right front tire, by the way, is in the red right now, so hopefully he can make it to the end of the run. Boy, Ryan Newman had a big lead. I think Labonte on those very old right side tires. Again, he took left sides under the last stop. He's kind of holding them back a little bit. He's got another teammate up here in the top 5, Jimmy Johnson in the 48. Johnson's had a rough second half of the season himself. Bonnie's got a big run to the back of Newman in turns 3 and 4. I mean, a massive run. Where's he going to go with it? He's going low. Bobby Labonte's on the racetrack. He's trying to earn himself as many points as he can. Remember, Bobby Labonte blew an engine earlier in today's race, and that's going to check up the field behind. Terry takes the lead away from Newman off turn 4, and Bobby Labonte just checked up the entire outside lane, and then some. Jeff Burton's going to have a big run on Terry Labonte down the back straightaway. Labonte's going to get hung out to dry. Benson out of the inside of Burton. They're fanning out again. Immediately, though, Bobby Labonte, he's looking for every point he can. I don't blame him for coming back on the track, even at Talladega, being way off the pace, because he is second in points. Blowing that engine is a huge heartbreak for him early on, and he's trying to get every point he can to stay there with Junior. He was 105 back coming into the day. He'll be way more back by the end unless Junior crashes out. And maybe Junior does crash out. Labonte can finish ahead of him. You never know. That could be a difference at the end of the season. Jeff Burton to the outside. Terry Labonte led that lap by 41 one-thousandths of a second. At 400ths of a second. Burton again looking high. Rim riding the outside. Jeff Burton with a push for Martin, his teammate, and Jeff Burton trying to lead his first lap of the race. Again, after starting 40th, he's in the top 10 in points still. Labonte, though, back to the inside as they go off into turns 3 and 4. Labonte with a teammate of his own on the bottom now of Johnson. It's the 2 Roush Fenway Fords versus the 2 Hendrick Chevrolets. And Labonte with the push from Johnson is back in the lead again. Terry's really hoping that right front can make it to the end of the run. We're at lap 100 this time. Johnson to second now. And Johnny Benson to the inside of the racetrack. Jimmy looking high. He wants the lead. Benson fades down to the bottom, trying to take it 3 wide. Oh, Newman was going to take it 4 wide there for a second. Burton all the way to the inside. And Jimmy Johnson's going to lead his first lap of the day. Boy, if Mark Martin doesn't fan out here and actually stays behind Johnson, they might pull away. A little bit of a tango this late in the run. We know Labonte's on older tires, but he's still in third. He might be holding this pack behind him up enough, but now Martin actually looks high in turns 1 and 2. That might be a mistake. Bonnie's just trying to hang on for track position. Just less than 4/10 of a gallon of fuel. Or sorry, not 4/10. 4 gallons of fuel is what I meant to say. Still in the tank of Labonte's car. Johnny Benson to the inside. I don't think he's going to have enough of a run to get around Terry Labonte. The way my crew chief said you're in third, 2 to go, it made it seem like, we only got 2 laps left in the race, but that's not the case. We got 2 to go, meaning 2 more spots to go. Benson to the outside. Got to run! Oh boy! Labonte shut the door on Elliott. My goodness. Little contact. See, Johnny Benson, Terry Labonte can work together here. Jeff Burton in 5th. He's trying to hang in there as well. 1.5 off the lead. This might be a good idea. Labonte can just stay in line behind Benson. I don't know if that right front tire is going to be able to make it to the end of this run. Labonte's really hoping it doesn't blow. Boy, that would be a terrible way to have his race end if that right front blows and causes the big one that way. It's been in the red for at least 6 to 7 laps.
Number 99 is coming left. On left.
Oh boy, here comes Jeff Burton
The 99
on the inside.
Take it easy. Clear all around.
Johnny Benson leading this group right back to the top 2 of Jimmy Johnson and Mark Martin. The run Terry Labonte got behind the 10 of Benson to the inside into turns 1 and 2. Tries to keep Harvick and Bill Elliott behind him. I think we're setting up for a wild finish today. I mean, Talladega usually has them, but we'll be 2 for 2 on drinking milk with the Got Milk paint scheme on the car. Might have found a new good luck charm. This and Cheez-Its. It's our good luck charm with this game, it seems like. Only run these schemes to the end of the year now. Doesn't feel like I have to work tomorrow.
1 second.
Still not used to working Saturdays. Only going to be the 3rd one. Yeah, these guys have caught him. Johnson was able to hold on to the lead. I don't think Mark Martin's led any laps yet today. Big run on the outside. Man, Benson had it. Oh, Martin to the inside. Now he makes a move on Jimmy.
Still beside you.
Labonte went to the bottom to follow Mark. And Mark Martin's in the lead off turn 4.
Number 10 is right behind you.
You got some drivers on pit road for the first time. Or I should say, not the first time, the 3rd time, but the first of the drivers under this pit window are now in the pits themselves.
Got one eye.
Labonte to the inside of Johnson for 2nd now.
Still beside you.
Can he clear him off of turn 2 and flat out work with Mark Martin?
Take a second.
Going against his teammate right now. Labonte's still trying to lead every lap he possibly can. I think these guys are coming up on Bobby Labonte very soon here. We know how slow he is.
Some of the leaders are coming in together.
Actually, that's Ryan Newman, who's really slow. I don't know if he just came out of the pits. He must have. Yeah, I think Newman did just come off of the pit lane. And Labonte back to the lead. As he passes Martin, clears him before the start-finish line. So Newman trying to short pit. Cycled back up where the leaders are battling still right now. Newman to the outside of Labonte off turn 2. Martin still trying to help Labonte on the inside.
6 is looking low.
Benson looks slow as well.
Golf car is still there.
Burton's actually trying to work with the lap car of Ryan Newman.
Okay.
Newman's got fresher tires. If he can stay with them, that might be the way to go. But now Newman's on the outside by himself. So Martin pulls up in front of him. Jeff Burton comes onto pit road. I don't think anybody else in this lead group came with him, though. He's not going to have any drafting help. As Terry Labonte continues the lead. top 4, and then Ryan Newman still in this lead group that have to pit. Terry Labonte will go right sides only under this next pit stop once again, and he'll keep the left sides on the car. And you wonder if the right sides could actually make it a little bit longer if he didn't lock the tires up when he came to pit road. Sure, that put a little extra wear on him that he didn't want. It was either that or he was going to get caught for speeding. He never would have gotten back to the lead this run. That speeding penalty could have came back to bite him if we didn't get another caution the rest of the day as well. I usually get 4 tires, but on the super speedways, especially in this game, you usually go a full run. Boy, if the caution came out now, that would be huge, because Junior just went a lap down after he hit pit road. That would trap him to 20 at the worst place finish. One way to slowly get back in the standings. I mean, if we could just be less than 400 back after this race, I mean, just give us some sort of a chance. These final 7 races, that's all I ask. I just want to go into Homestead with a chance at the end of the year. Even if we have to win and Junior has to, like, blow an engine or something, like, at least have us race for something championship-wise. Looks like the rest of the leaders coming into the pit. So it looks like Labonte's going to stay out the longest once again. Fine by him. He'll lead more laps, and he does have a little drafting help with Ryan Newman behind him. He's going to stay in front of Newman just in case we do get a caution. Some cautions during green flag stops on this game at this track in the past. Mainly because of nasty crashes and flips because of drivers running into the back of another driver, exiting the pit lane. Or I should say getting up to speed from exiting pit road. Labonte coming to pit road, trying not to lock the tires this time, but he's got to or he's going to speed. So he locked them up a little bit, not nearly as bad as the last time. It'll be left side tires only for, right side tires only for Terry Labonte. That was a close one. 4 fresh tires and a full tank of fuel. So right side's only for Labonte. Race leader still has to pit. Somebody went a little bit longer. Back up onto the racetrack. Oh! Trying to slow these guys up again. I'm not sure if any of them were battling for the lead or not, but Labonte didn't want to find out. I think I'm going to stop doing that before we get in a big accident. That's the second time we about did. Yeah, race leader's coming to pit road this time, so it should cycle Terry Labonte out in front pretty easily here. And how far of a, and how much of a lead does he have? Marlon just about got in the wall. Almost finished Stanton Barrett there as well. So another lead change. Bobby Labonte coming out of the pits again. Rusty Wallace is actually the driver who stayed out the lead a lap that time. Jimmy Johnson's in second. He's nearly 10 seconds off the lead. The right side's only under that stop, seeming like it's working out, at least for Terry Labonte right now. Lap 112. And maybe Labonte can work with one of these lap cars. I'm not sure how fast they are. I would have to think Marlon's got decent speed. Really good restrictor plate racer. 2-time Daytona 500 winner. Back-to-back, in fact. In 94 and 95. The number 4 team. Owned by Morgan McClure. Martin now up to second, about 8 seconds off the lead. So Labonte, yeah, he was way too quick compared to David Green there. Labonte's going to let Marlon go. Marlin's not mad enough to take a swing at him. Otherwise, I wouldn't have let him go. But oh, man, Terry's a little loose.
Still beside you.
Terry's trying to let Marlin go, and he did. But David Green's actually going to follow him as well. At least he gets down in front of Stanton Barrett.
It's going to make it hard for you to get around.
And if Terry Labonte could just draft with these lap cars and just continuously lead laps, that would be remarkable.
Yeah, we got much longer on that left front tire.
Yeah, left front's already in the yellow for Labonte early into this run. He locked the tires up again coming to pit road. It wasn't as bad as when he locked them up the pit stop before that. That's the danger with taking the 2 stops. You really got to conserve those tires coming to the pit lane under green. Went away for 5 minutes back at first place. Yeah, a little pit strategy going on for Terry Labonte right now. These 2 tire stops working out for him. It's gotten him a big lead for the moment. He's trying to draft with these lap cars. Trying to get with Sterling Marlin if he can. Already got his payback on Marlin earlier today, and he's not even a rival, so at least mad enough to take a swing at us, kind of a rival.
Number 40 is Monty. Right side.
Stan Barrett's going to get on by.
All clear, man.
These guys better not pull away. I don't think they are. Terry Labonte better hope they aren't. We drafted with Stanton Barrett now. Stanton Barrett had a top 10 in the 500. Remember, he finished 4th, actually, in the Daytona 500 earlier this year, and then he didn't even race the next 2 races after it. Unfortunately. Otherwise, if he was running the full season, I wonder where that could have put him in points even, like, quarter of the way through the year. Bonnie's not really able to draft with these guys. He just went 3 wide to get around Barrett again. He really wants to draft behind Sterling Marlin. These guys are just not staying single file the way Terry Labonte wants them to.
Clear on both sides. The 40 car is trying to block you.
Marlin blocking David Green.
Got one eye.
Oh, contact! David Green and Terry Labonte
Still there. Make it easy.
getting into the corner. Marlin might pull away now.
Okay, we're clear.
And he just got underneath him. Green didn't realize he was there and had to pull down right on top of him.
Number 40.
Yeah, 5-second lead. About 5.5 back to Johnson. Actually going to pause it for a quick little race break, mainly because we're towards the end of the season. This is the championship hunt
40 car is
with the final 8 races of the year. I want to see where the running order is, where the championship contenders are, and who's led the most laps up to this point. Because it's got to be close. Labonte's led 30. Johnson's got 7. Jeff Burt's got 2. Mark Martin's got 6. Jeff Gordon's got 16. Dale Jarrett's got 19. Benson hasn't led a lap yet. Harvick has 7 laps led. Bill Elliott with 3. Newman with 3. Dale Jr. has 0, so that's big. Jr.'s also outside the top 10. He's in 11, so that's also good. But he's linked up with his teammate Michael Waltrip, so we'll have to look out for them in the final 60 laps. Stewart's led laps. Mayfield's led 1 lap. Who was that? Elliott Sadler led 1 lap. Rusty Wallace, we saw him lead that lap, stayed out longer than everybody else. Jeff Green led 3 laps early. Matt Kenseth blew an engine. Bobby Labonte blew an engine, but he's back in it. Wow, so if Kenseth blew an engine too, that's another championship frontrunner. So Matt Kenseth and Bobby Labonte were in the top 5 in points, and both of them blew an engine today. Ricky Craven blew an engine. Bummer for him. He was running fast early. Fittipaldi, we saw Ricky Rudd. He's in the top 10 in points. Kenny Wallace and Robbie Gordon all out of the race. So 2 of the top 5 and 3 of the top 10 drivers in points have blown an engine today. And we still have 31 drivers on the lead lap, with Marlin being the final driver on the lead lap right now. So that's our race break here on KRC. Back to the action now. I don't usually like pausing it, but this late in the season, it's kind of nice to know where everybody's running middle of the race. Really the only way to find out. So Labonte has led 31 laps this time by at the line, but that is enough to lead the most. We've had so many different leaders. I didn't count them when I was just looking on that screen, but we still got a ways to go, though. 70 laps to go this time by. A ways to go, but at the same time, we're getting closer and closer to the end of this thing. Been almost 2 hours. And only one caution. I don't think that's going to stay. You'd have to assume we're going to get more cautions, I would have to imagine. Oh, Marlin checked up big time behind the 4 of Mike Skinner. Labonte had to take the run. And now Skinner and Marlin kind of work together through the trial.
Still there, 8 days. All clear, buddy.
Technically, but it would have been a Busch Series car, so he's technically running his Busch Series car in this game. So is David Green. All those part-time rookies are technically running their Busch cars to fill the field. Generated drivers in, at least on the season mode.
Got one eye.
And then the first season, the career mode, they do that too.
Still there.
Terry Labonte might have to work with Mike Skinner now. Marlin's going to go a lap down. Stan Barrett, Sterling Marlin, they got something to fight for. They want to get back on the lead lap as soon as possible. Can this be a one pit stop race to the end? It is going to be really close. We have 69 laps to go this time by. Labonte's been able to go 38 laps on a full fuel run. It might be a one-stop race to the finish. It's going to be really close. And so far, 3 for 3 with his pit crew. No mistakes. With possibly only one pit stop remaining. Quite surprised. With only one caution, I'm very surprised if we actually get through this race with only 4 pit stops. Trying to draft with the 4 Mike Skinner, but Skinner kind of running the outside. It's going to allow Marlin to perhaps get back to the inside. Nope, not quite. Lonnie got a little loose off of turn 4, but luckily he had Marlin cleared when he got loose in front of him. Six-second lead. It was 5.5. Dale Jarrett back up to 5th. His allies right now are Mike Skinner and Terry Labonte. Labonte's trying to do everything he can to stay as far away from the leaders as possible. This is, again, logging in more laps led, because as we run, he's only led about 17 more laps than Dale Jarrett. And Jarrett probably has the fastest car on the racetrack. We don't know if we're going to get another caution, obviously, to bunch things back up. I'd like to think that we probably would get at least one more caution. Depending on how big it is, we might get some debris cautions after that as well. Greg Biffle kind of holding up Mike Skinner now as Bonnie tried to push Skinner on by to the inside, but Skinner didn't take the run and stayed high instead. Bonnie's trapped on the bottom. Pulling up in line behind Marlin, trying to stay with these guys. That's all he's really got to do. Stay with this group of 3 or 4, however many lap cars these guys end up pulling in with them. Well, Bobby Labonte's coming up. That's going to check these guys up. 3 wide now. Well, that kind of helps his brother Terry out once again, but at the same time, there's now no drafting help for Terry Labonte because Bobby has held up all of the lap cars that Terry Labonte was racing around. And are they going to be fast enough to actually get to Terry Labonte before the leaders get to him? So it helped him for a short time, but I think in this long run, it's actually going to hurt him. Bonnie running really slow again, blew an engine. He's down on cylinders, trying to get every point he can. He's still at least racing one more driver that blew an engine, which would be Matt Kenseth, which is big because they're both in the top 5 in points. So Labonte definitely wants to. That's a big 3 points he can gain if he gets around Kenseth. It's 5-point increments until you get outside the top 5, and then I believe back through 15th it's 4-point increments, and then every position outside the top 15 is 3 points between each position. Then obviously 5 bonus points for leading the lap, and then 10 bonus points for leading the most laps. It's like Mike Skinner and Marlin are starting to run Terry Labonte down. I'll have to see if those other lead cars though are going to be able to get around Labonte quick, because maybe Bobby Labonte will hold those guys up too. Uh, 4.2. Johnson's gained 2 seconds on the race leader now. It's going to yeah, Mike Skinner's going to get on by on the outside again. Will help from Sterling Marlin from behind. Labonte again trying to draft behind Skinner. Really wants Skinner to run the bottom, but Skinner's still running the outside lane. Marlin trying to come up the inside, but he doesn't have enough help from behind to actually make the move on Terry Labonte. Okay, now Skinner moves to the bottom. There we go. So Skinner finally moves down low. 3.9. Johnson's definitely closing this gap. Oh, Skinner stayed high. Now it's 3 wide. Labonte in the middle. Marlin got around both of them. What a heck of a run Sterling Marlin had. No help behind Labonte. He's got to stick with Skinner and Marlin down the back straightaway now. At least they're back on the inside. Well, Marlin was always down low, but he was behind Labonte. He needed Skinner to run the bottom, and now Skinner and Marlin are pulling away. Labonte trying not to let that happen. They're staying nose to tail. Still through the tri-oval. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time today here on KRC. And Jeff Burton cycled into second. And Skinner and Marlin have been drafting really well with one another right now, and Labonte's starting to lose these guys. Then he reels them back in at the last second. He really can't afford to lose them, otherwise those guys are going to catch him in a hurry from behind. See if we can get to plus 100 with Mike Skinner. Hey, we got it. Third driver we went with plus 100 today.
Number 4 is right behind you. You're clear.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time for Labonte to get around Kenseth. We'll have to see if anybody else DNFs. Labonte's kind of hoping in some way for the big one, because that'll help him out a lot too, as long as it doesn't come super late in the race. It would give him time for him to pass a couple more cars at least if anybody DNFs out of it. Labonte trying to stay with Jeff Green in the 1. Jeff Green trying to stay in the lead lap. 3.5 seconds back to Johnson in second. Big run to the inside. Labonte takes it. All clear on Jeff Green off turn 2. Yeah, it's going to be really, really close. Rusty Wallace has made it a lap further the last 2 runs on Terry Labonte. Could this race fall into Rusty Wallace's hands all of a sudden? Rusty hasn't won yet this season. Oh, Skinner was underneath of Terry Labonte. Labonte didn't realize Skinner was there. Thought he was clear enough to pull down in the center of the corner so he can continue to run the bottom, and that just wasn't the case. I guess we're not plus 100 with Skinner anymore. Probably like plus 70 now. That could have been bad too. Guys are just not getting enough of a run to get around Terry Labonte so Labonte can draft behind him again. And Johnson leading the group in second place, that big pack. Is they're only about 1.5 seconds off the lead in the middle of turns 1 and 2 this time. Jeff Green, Marlin get on by. Skinner's on the outside as well. Jeff Green pulled out a line to try and get around Sterling Marlin. I guess Skinner's still at plus 100. I'm surprised. Surprised it's still at plus 100. .2. Might be the last-ditch effort here behind Jeff Green. He's got to stay with him, but look at the giant pack in that rear-view mirror of Terry Labonte. They're running him down. But Terry's definitely prolonged this about as best as he could with drafting these lap cars, but there's a long way to the finish still. Had to have known it wasn't going to last long. He can make a 2-tire stop to the end of the race again, though. On that final stop, that could help him out again as well. I don't think this 4-car group is running as fast as they were before. They're changing lanes a lot, and not only that, they're kind of passing each other quite frequently. And Johnson is now about 0.8 of a second off the lead into turn 1 this time. And if he can just get the draft off the back of his teammate Terry Labonte and pull closer, he's going to have a huge run. I think Terry's just going to want to get around these lap cars as soon as he can. Down the back straightaway, still following Jeff Green on the inside. Trying to push Green by Marlin, and he's just not going. Green does not want to go past Marlin. He's worried about trying to block Labonte instead and trying to stay on the lead lap. And now off of turn 4, Johnson's got to run to the outside for the lead. 3 wide for third place. Another big run for Labonte. At least gets underneath Skinner. Trying to draft Marlin. Maybe he can get to the inside of Jeff Green as well. Johnson trying to stay in the draft to Terry Labonte. Oh, Green pulls down and blocks again. But you got to understand why they're blocking, trying to hang on to the lead lap just in case we do get that caution. Labonte finally to the inside of Green. They're 3 wide underneath Marlin. A little tight getting into turn 3. Marlin's still on the outside. So was Green. All clear, but Labonte with a very narrow lead. Burton to the inside of Johnson now. For second. Car high. Here comes Jeff Burton with a run. Burton down the back straightaway. A little side drafting going on into turn 3. Labonte's got Benson on the inside right behind him. Multiple cars, Johnson, Martin on the outside. Lab car, Skinner, contact between the 48 and the 5. They got together off of turn 4. Burton with the lead. Jeff Burton's going to lead the lap. That really checked him up. Labonte got way too tight off of turn 4. Bonnie's got a big run on Burton. Into 3 for the lead again. Burton tries to crowd him. Not going to do it enough. Labonte hasn't cleared him yet. Now he has, right in the center of turns 3 and 4. Terry Labonte's back in the lead. I think Johnson was actually able to hold on for the most part to his track position. Might have lost a couple spots, but he's still in that pack. Stagnated him for about a lap and a half, and that's it. Nothing major, luckily. And most importantly, we stay green here at Talladega. By far the longest green flag run of the race. Over 100 laps into this green flag run. The lone caution came for a single car spin from Marlin into turn 1 earlier today at lap 26. Marlin trying to get back on the lead lap right now. Labonte's just trying to block for his life to hold on to the lead so he can lead more and more laps to the end of the race. Try to clinch the most laps led as soon as he can. Got a couple more lap cars in the picture up ahead. One of them is Bobby Labonte. We know he's really slow. And Bobby Labonte's really slow. He's going to stay high and let his brother Terry get to the bottom. Mark Martin just kind of following. Johnny Benson's actually on the outside of Labonte for the lead right now. By 12 one-thousandths of a second, Labonte led that lap over Benson, but Benson's got to run with Martin on the outside. Labonte cuts off Martin, but Benson's already got the lead. Johnny has not led a lap yet today, but has been in the top 10 for a while. Big run down the back straightaway for Johnny Benson as he tries to lead his first lap. And he might do it, but Terry Labonte's got a big run of his own. What was the best Dega race? My favorite is probably this last fall, simply for the fact I was there. It was my first ever race at Talladega, and it blew me away. Even though it was not a good Talladega race, it was way too much of a wreck fest. Way too many crashes, but at the same time, I mean, it was, 15 cautions, most cautions ever at Talladega. But at the same time, though, it was a fun experience. But then again, Ryan Blaney's last 2 wins, especially that June race this year, I was pumped when he won that one. I was probably more pumped when he won that race than any other race, watching him win. And I was working most of the day, so that was pretty fun. That playoff win was so clutch, too. His playoff win at the Roval was, I mean, like, I've been pumped for all of Blaney's wins, so I'd say my personal favorite would probably be those 2. As far as, like, best classic Dega race goes, and the 2000 Winston 500 has got to be up there. Got to be up there. Labonte drafting with Johnny Benson, trying to make a move for the lead. And again, trying to lead as many laps as he can. It's helping him save a little bit of fuel, too. Because it could become a fuel mileage race today as well. Labonte to the inside. And he'll make the pass on Benson. Into turn 3. So Johnny was able to lead for 2 laps. 2011 was a good race with that photo finish. Tied for the closest finish ever when Johnson barely beat Boyer, and Martin and Gore. The top 8 were like all right there at the finish. Nearly 4 wide across the finish line, but the only problem with that is that I wasn't a huge fan of the tandem racing. Harvick coming off of pit road, so some of these drivers have been pitting these last couple laps. I don't think they're going to make it on fuel to the end. They're pitting way too early. Comes Benson, Burton, Martin, right back in it again. Lap car of Ken Schrader is also in there. Oh, Schrader to the inside. Lap car. David Green's also a lap down. He's in the picture up here. Somebody's just coming off of pit road up ahead. It's Ashton Lewis in the 46. Oh, Martin ran right in the back of Lewis getting into turn 3. Burton continues to draft David Green on the outside. Lewis just log jammed the pack of cars on that inside lane. Burton still got a shot to go for the lead. Drops low to get around David Green, passes him, now trying to get a run on Terry Labonte. Surprised Terry's left sides have held up as well as they did, not even in the red yet. Dale Jr. just coming off of pit road. Again, our points leader. It is going to be very close on if it's going to be a one-stop race to the finish or if it's going to be 2. Could have a fuel mileage race today at Talladega. Oh, man, I thought Green was going to try to block Labonte. Green did hold up Jeff Burton, though. Oh, now he is blocking Burton. My goodness, Jeff Green. A harsh block on the 99 of Burton. Thought about doing it on Labonte, but Terry was coming in way too hot. Just got to his outside in time. Kurt Busch is up to 5th. He hasn't pit yet, though. And he's still 5 seconds off the race lead. Sterling Marlin coming off the pit road. Just over a gallon of fuel left for Terry Labonte. I can't remember if it was the EA Sports 500 or the Winston 500 at the time in 2001, but that 2001 Fall Dega race was really good too. He's got a big run in the draft behind Stanton Barrett. Hermie Sadler coming off the pit road. Oh, trying to squeeze Labonte. Labonte's in the wall. Contact with Stanton Barrett. Hermie Sadler squeezed Labonte, the race leader, 3 wide in the middle and didn't give him a lot of room. And Labonte tried to go high, but Barrett was already on his outside. Pretty heavy contact. Labonte's right front tire's already in the yellow. We're not even to the end of this run. Terry's likely going to pit this time by. Wow, how much ground did that cost Labonte? It was a pretty hard hit, too. Terry's really hoping that did not cost him hardly any time at all. Bonnie coming to pit road. It's going to be a 4-tire stop. It's got to be 4 tires. He locked the right sides up too, but I mean, after that hit in the wall, the right front tire is pretty worn now. Probably not going to be the final stop of the day. No adjustments. 2001 was named the EA Sports 500. Okay. Yeah, but that Talladega race in 2001, that was pretty good too. Junior won there. Up onto the racetrack. Labonte actually had a fast clean stop. There's Jack Sprague. Sprague is one of Labonte's rivals as well. These guys can't make it on fuel to the end. He might think about trying to get around, or let Sprague get around him, and maybe a little payback could be coming here on Sprague after Jack ended Labonte's New Hampshire race trying to pit from the second lane, pulled a Quinn Houff, and ended our day. Well, he hit us once, and then he hit us again after that. You guys know the drill. You guys saw it. And he's going to turn him. Around goes Sprague. Spinning on the front stretch, trying to regather his race car. They'll race back to the caution flag here at Dega. Well, we've gotten payback on 2 drivers. That's our second caution of the day. I think Sprague actually saved it. He never actually went all the way around, but it was enough to bring the caution. Clipped the grass, stayed on the inside. Wow, everybody missed him. And a great save by Jack Sprague. Well, there's the payback on 2 of our drivers we needed it on. And Labonte's going to pit again. Right at the edge of the pit window, and we got a couple other of the leaders pitting as well, but not everybody. It is probably even closer of a race to the finish now. 4 tires. Man, there's a lot of cars on the lead lap Labonte's going to have to get around now. I don't know. This is going to be really, really tight on the fuel window to the end. Still need payback on what? Kurt Busch and Michael Waltrip? No mistakes again. 5 for 5 for Labonte's crew today. 2 4-tire stops, 3 2-tire stops, and no mistakes all day long. Rusty Walls actually beat Labonte off pit road. Looks like we got 24 drivers on the lead lap. Caution probably trapped quite a few guys a lap down, because Rusty Wallace was the leader. Green flag back in the air here at Talladega. Will we get another caution at the end of the race? We've only had 2 all day long. We're going to have to see how good Labonte can be. Some pretty equal tires for the most part. It is full send mode for everybody in this field. 37 laps to go at Talladega. Stewart, man, he is really back in the pack. He's behind his teammate Bobby Labonte, who kind of checked everybody up there. Oh, now we got cars pitting. We've got some guys short pitting to the end. Dale Jr. is one of those drivers coming down. Oh, man, if these guys go a lap down, that might be the window to the end of the race right there. It's got to be what they were thinking. If Jr. goes a lap down and Labonte can get his payback by spinning Michael Waltrip, that might be the idea here, because Waltrip's not too much further ahead. I think we've got a plan. And it might help Labonte get back in the championship hunt. Obviously, he's got to still finish with a good day with doing this, but this would trap Junior a lap down. As long as Waltrip doesn't come into pit road this time, it doesn't look like he will. Labonte to the inside of Ryan Newman. Yeah, Dale Jr. is going to go a lap down here. There's no way those guys are going to stay in the lead lap. Still, though, we've only had 2 cautions. Huge pack of cars. Trying to race their way through. There's Dale Jr. Yeah, he is well more than a lap down. Oh, this is going to get tight. 4 wide. 4 wide into turn 3. Contact with Newman and Labonte. All these lap cars on the inside and all the lead lap cars on the outside. Labonte shot 4 wide to keep from running hard into the back of Hermie Sadler. I think it was better he made that slight contact with Newman instead. That could have been the big one. But Kurt Busch is up here too. Get our payback on either him or Waltrip. Oh my goodness. Everybody checking up again through the tri-oval. Labonte goes up the middle, 3 wide that time. It's on the inside of Kurt Busch. Michael Waltrip just made a 3 wide pass. I don't think Labonte cares whether it's Kurt Busch or Michael Waltrip who he turns. He's going to try to turn one of them. And he might be trying to go after Waltrip instead of Busch, it looks like. Ooh, contact with the back of Bill Elliott. He's in 10. He's gotten around Kurt Busch, trying to draft with Bill Elliott still. I like donuts in NASCAR. Welcome to the stream. So Labonte needs payback on 2 drivers, Michael Waltrip, Kurt Busch. He didn't do it on Busch that time. Waltrip's up here, and Dale Jr.'s a lap down after short pitting here at Dega. It's going to be a fuel mileage race to the end if it does stay green. You have that pack of cars. I mean, there was probably at least a dozen cars that came to pit road and short pitted that time. Look at Elliott trying to block Labonte. Labonte going to follow Waltrip on the inside. Bill Elliott's still in that middle lane. He fades back now. He almost got squeezed between his teammate Terry Labonte on the inside. 31 laps to go this time by at the line. Labonte could be looking at his payback on Waltrip to trap Dale Jr. a lap down after Jr. short pitted. And then everybody else is likely going to come to pit road under caution, I'd have to imagine. Well, that'd be 2 cautions during this run. They might make it on field at the end, but Labonte's going to pit, that's for sure. Just got to get a run to that right rear corner panel of Waltrip's car, and that is going to be what Labonte needs to get his payback on Michael Waltrip. And again, Junior, the points leader, would be trapped a lap down. 30 laps to go in the EA Sports 500. Harvick kind of blocking Waltrip. Waltrip wanting to get around him as well. Can't tell who that is on the outside up here. It might be Bobby Labonte. I'm not entirely sure. Somebody that this 3-car group has caught. Waltrip is definitely blocking Terry Labonte, that's for certain. Steve Park, maybe? No, David Green, lap car on the outside.
Got one up. Still there. Okay, we're clear.
We're just 4.5 seconds off the lead. Be patient.
Bonnie definitely wants to make that move. That is going to be the plan. I didn't think we were going to get payback on anybody today with it being Talladega, but the fact we might do it on 3 and come away with no extra rivals on top of it, that'd be huge. Kyle Button, welcome to the stream. Just got done watching Godzilla. Nice. I've actually never seen. Dang it. Godzilla movie. They're like in the plus 40s there on Waltrip. I mean, I was going to dump him anyway, but... Bonnie trying to get payback on Waltrip. Trap. Well, Waltrip's teammate and points leader, Dale Jr., a lap down. He's got to get to the right rear corner panel, though. He's not going to be able to do it on the left rear, and that's just going to cost him time if we don't get another caution the rest of this race. We've only had 2 all day long. And no big one up to this point. Trying to get a run. Trying desperately to get a run on Waltrip. He needs Mikey to pull lower. Waltrip just keeps staying on the outside. Bonnie almost lost him. Harvick's been blocking Waltrip like Waltrip's been blocking Labonte though too. Very aggressive blocks by everybody. Dang it. Back down to plus 16 again. I keep forgetting to save. Well, Kurt Busch is right behind us too, worst case scenario. We need payback on him. I guess it doesn't matter who we get the payback on as long as we get payback on one of those 2 drivers. If we lose Michael Waltrip in the draft here, we might have to go after Kurt Busch. Yeah, there goes Kurt Busch to the outside. He's got to run. He's got it. Marlin right there as well, though, to get around Terry Labonte. Well, now Kurt Busch is pulling away, too. Kurt got right underneath the Waltrip in a hurry. Bonnie drafting Sterling Marlin. Want to get payback on either Kurt Busch or Waltrip to trap Junior a lap down again, but be the ultimate payback. Oh man, that was a big run. Bonnie got stalled out though, right behind the 40 all of a sudden. Now he's behind the 97 of Kurt Busch. Can he get a run on him though? Kurt's been racing hard with Waltrip. Oh, that didn't work at all. How did that not turn Kurt Busch? That is insane. Labonte was on Kurt Busch's right rear corner panel the whole way down the back straightaway. And it never turned Kurt Busch. That is insane. They were 3 wide going into turn 3. Kurt was on the inside of Waltrip and don't know who exactly was on the outside. It was that other driver that Waltrip was... Oh, Kevin Harvick. Well, that really failed for Terry Labonte mightily because
38 car is going low. Car inside. The 97 car is trying to block you. Okay.
oh, contact.
Got one down low.
Oh, hang on. These other drivers better be careful behind this mess.
They're all around. Number 97.
5 and the 97. Not liking each other right now. I think Bobby Labonte's kind of holding these guys up, too. Oh, wow, Kurt Busch is at minus 100 now. Oh, boy! Up the middle, 3 wide.
You gained an opposition lap fast. All clear, mate.
That is unbelievable.
The one car is outside. Okay, we're clear.
Now finally gets around Bobby Labonte, who was holding that pack up. There's actually a pretty decent amount of damage on the left front of Terry Labonte. Well, that plan just completely foiled for Terry Labonte. Because now he's lost so much ground on the race leader. And although Junior is trapped a lap down, those guys can make it on fuel to the end of the race. That plan was probably not the right one. Hindsight's always 20/20. But Labonte thought that was his best opportunity to get payback on either Waltrip or Kurt Busch. And he was taking his time with it, but he was taking a little too much time. And honestly, the first time he made contact with Kurt Busch, I mean, the physics would tell you, going into turn 3, pretty much all the way down the back straightaway, but especially going into turn 3, he was literally on the right rear corner panel of Kurt Busch's car, and Kurt just never spun. Held straight. He slowed down. Both drivers slowed down. Then the whole pack slowed down. Oh! Bad block by Labonte. McMurray and Stewart up the inside. They just kind of miss everybody. 20 laps to go this time by. Here at Talladega. And a fuel mileage race to the finish. 20 laps to go. This is insane. 7 gallons of fuel left for Labonte. I don't think he's going to make it. And he's nearly 17 seconds off the lead. Knowing that a lot of drivers pitted that first lap after the restart, I don't think anybody can make it. Simply for that reason. Before he loses any more time, Labonte's going to come to pit road right now with 19 laps to go. And it's going to be a gas and go only. Quarter of a tank of fuel, no tires. So a half can of fuel. That is it. Quarter of a tank. And Labonte has a new plan, and that is short pit, just like the rest of the field. 6-second stop. Really fast pit stop for Terry Labonte and his crew. 6.8. He's going to get back on the racetrack. This is going to be dangerous. But he's got to hold on in front of everybody else that pitted. And they're slowing up big time. So Jeff Burton, Johnny Benson battling it out for the lead right now. Labonte going to try to stay on the lead lap. And now he's hoping everybody else has to pit to the finish. This has really turned into a fuel mileage race. This is not your traditional Talladega finish, to say the least. This thing has just kind of gone a little haywire, to be quite honest. Labonte repaired the damage, so he doesn't have heavy damage on the left front anymore. Again, trying to stay on the lead lap, but Jeff Burton's going to put him a lap down. How many laps is Burton able to lead right now as well? As far as that battle for the most laps led goes. Look at how far ahead Jeff Burton and Johnny Benson are running. Oh, contact down the back straightaway. Not only Labonte's fallen a lap down, but he's also lost a spot to Steve Park, who was one of the drivers that short pitted anyway, so he will have to race Steve Park back to the finish no matter what. Crazy thing is, too, is that Steve Park obviously he's a lap down, too. Man, could you imagine if he pulls off the win? I mean, anybody can win at Talladega, but in this scenario, the short pitting, not too many of the drivers were actually able to stay in the lead pack. Park is one of them, and he is the lead driver right now. And even these front leaders are pulling away. Labonte trying to let his teammate Johnson underneath him. Johnson just not going. Labonte trying to go for the Talladega sweep. Won here earlier this season. Trying to do whatever he can to keep his championship hopes alive as well. Ashton Lewis in the 46 looks really fast right now as well. He gets around. I don't know how Labonte got so slow all of a sudden, too. Everybody that just passed him, I mean, he was trying to get up to speed, I guess, too. Ashton Lewis also for position to the end of the race. Boy, is he in a good position to have good things go his way. Well, here's Michael Waltrip. Problem is Labonte can't turn him now. He needs this to play green to the end. And Johnson and Labonte are linked up. Two Hendrick Chevrolets working together once again. First time these two have been linked up this way all race as well. Rondo Slice, welcome to the stream. That's going pretty good. Been a very, very weird ending to today's race at Talladega. Just 14 laps to go. But boy, is it going to be a race to the finish. Mark Martin locking off Jimmy Johnson right now. Labonte trying to push his teammate Johnson underneath Martin. It's just not working out. Well, he really can't allow the 6 and the 48 to pull away from him. Well, this is not going to be good for Terry Labonte if he loses these two. Some other drivers exiting pit road, or at least one driver. That's Jamie McMurray. And Labonte has lost touch of his teammate Johnson now as he's drafting with Mark Martin. Next man up, Bill Elliott. Bonnie's got to let him go and just try to draft with him. I really have zero clue how Labonte's car got so slow. Elliott coming to pit road. I mean, these guys are just blowing by Terry Labonte. Labonte's had one of the fastest cars all day long. And he doesn't have any damage.
Best place for him is in your rear view mirror.
Everything cycles through and we have enough time for there to be a caution and a restart. I guess that's the last hope. But Terry Labonte trying desperately to stay in the draft of Michael Waltrip. I don't even think that's going to happen. And 3 wide off of turn 4 up there, but one of them's coming to pit road. So that would be why, which is Ashton Lewis. So Lewis actually can't make it on field to the end. I wonder if Park can make it on field to the end. Maybe he can't make it. I thought he could, but I guess not. Wonder if anybody might try to run out of fuel trying to get to the end of the race as well. Rusty Wallace pitted under that last caution. Bonnie could have stayed out and tried to stretch it, but he really didn't think he was going to make it. Otherwise, that probably would have been the call. Bill Bodine coming out of the pit lane. Elliott Sadler. Well, these guys are 4 position at this point. Bonnie kind of wants Skinner to get around him. One, he doesn't know when Skinner's coming to pit road. Most importantly, that could be a position to the end of the race. So he almost doesn't even want to let anybody else go. It obviously didn't work out the first 2 times he tried to let guys go. They just pulled right ahead from him. Skinner is coming into the pit lane anyway. Not all the leaders are in the pits yet. If only Labonte could have turned Kurt Busch like he had planned and was going to do, was in the process of doing it, Kurt Busch just never turned around. That race leader's still out on the racetrack. Other driver for position. It's the 45 of Kyle Petty. Labonte going to cycle around him. There's absolutely zero drafting help for Terry Labonte right now. Race leader still on the racetrack. That blue dot on the upper right-hand corner of the screen on the track map is the race leader. The black flashing dot is us and Terry Labonte. 7 laps to go at Talladega on the EA Sports 500. And Labonte's not letting anybody else get back around him now. He's got Harvick coming up from behind. This is going to be for a position if Harvick can get around him. That would be such a tough break for Terry Labonte if he can't even get a top 10 out of this. Comes a couple of other cars from behind also for position. Ward Burton, Kyle Petty, Elliott Sadler. At least one more driver coming off the pit lane up here. Actually, a few of them coming off the pit lane. David Green, not for position though. Sterling Marlin, not for position. Ward Burton going to get to the inside. Little contact. 3 wide off of turn 2. Harvick. Ward Burton, Labonte sandwiched.
Still beside you. 38 marks coming up quick.
Little contact between the 22 and the 5 as well. More drivers coming to pit road this time. Labonte drafting with Harvick. I guess now the plan is sit behind Harvick and try to make a move at the last second or something on him and try to help draft him as much as possible. Yeah, Harvick is a position. Race leaders on pit road. So Labonte's back on the lead lap. Short pitted. So not exactly a lap down. I believe Rusty Wallace is the race leader. But again, can he make it on fuel to the end? Boy, if Rusty Wallace outsmarts everybody and makes it and everybody else can't, that'd be unbelievable. Kevin Harvick pulling back away from Terry Labonte. See, I mean, they just get such a big run pretty much out of nowhere. It's actually pretty surprising Harvick pulled away because Labonte's got a little help behind him. Harvick's not drafting anybody in front of him right now. It's just mind-boggling that Labonte might not even get a top 10. That's been the tough luck at the end of the season for Terry Labonte. It's just been that kind of a year to end it all off, but we are about to await the winner of today's race. There is still one more driver at least out on the racetrack, and I believe it is Rusty Wallace. Labonte has a run on Harvick, but he couldn't make the pass. It's actually for the 10th position right now. And if Rusty Wallace can't make it on field at the end, it could be for 9th. We have 2 laps to go for the race leader, Rusty Wallace. Can he outsmart everybody and make it on field at the end? He pitted the same lap as Labonte, but I don't think Labonte was going to make it. Now you're kind of wondering, should Terry have just tried it anyway? And this strategy just went all over the place at the end of this race. Wallace might run out on the last lap. Who knows? White flag in the air. 1 lap to go for Rusty Wallace to win the EA Sports 500 at Talladega. A race in which we only had 2 cautions all day long. Who would have thought that? No big one. He's got another big run on Kevin Harvick. He's going to sit behind him again. Rusty Wallace is getting into turn 3 right now. Labonte's got another lap to try and get around Harvick for 10th. Also trying to hold these guys back. Ward Burton had a big run on the inside. Comes Labonte with a move into turn 1 underneath Harvick. This is his chance. Labonte wants the spot. Contact with Harvick. Can't get off of him. Labonte wants the 10th spot. He's fighting for every point he can get here on the final lap at Talladega. The checker flag is already waved, and Rusty Wallace has won this race. Ward Burton trying to help out Labonte into turn 3 on the inside. Harvick still on the top. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide off of turn 4. 3 wide. Oh, Harvick almost in the wall. There's almost a big crash. Somebody's out of fuel. Somebody's out of fuel. It's Michael Waltrip. He ran out to the finish. Labonte's going to finish 5th place. Michael Waltrip ran out of fuel. He tried to stretch it to the end as well. And a top 5 for Terry Labonte. And Rusty Wallace does get the win and outsmarts everybody on fuel to the end.
The drivers didn't spend much time.
What a crazy finish to this race. Rusty Wallace wins at Talladega.
Terry Labonte manages a top 5.
We had guys running out of fuel to the finish. Wallace made it. One lap further than everybody else. That was just that was probably one of the weirdest Talladega races I think we've ever had on the channel.
This has been NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, brought to you by EA Sports.
Waltrip held up a lot of guys. I mean, Labonte was fighting for 10th off of turn 4. There were 3 wide with Sadler on the bottom and Harvick on the outside. And Waltrip in the tri-oval runs out of gas, and he's got about a dozen cars. Rusty Wallace will go on to win today's race. And we'll take a look at the finishing results here to this one. That was a very strange finish, to say the least. Wallace led just 9 laps today. He led 1 lap earlier in the race and led the final 8. For the only 9 laps he led. Terry Labonte did lead the most laps, leading 56 laps, so that's 10 bonus points there. So that pit strategy midway through the race paid off. 2 hours and 55 minutes and only 2 cautions for 6 caution laps. We still had 70 lead changes in a race with 2 cautions. That's Talladega, baby. Unbelievable. Yeah, crazy finish. What a finish. That was really strange. We'll get to that again in a second. Jeff Burton started 40th. We mentioned he was going to be one of the guys to watch today, and he finished 2nd. Came from the back of the pack. He was leading a lot of laps late. But his 2nd place finish. If Rusty Wallace didn't make it on fuel, Waltrip ran out at the end. But if Rusty would have ran out as well, you're talking about Jeff Burton winning the race at Talladega. Johnny Benson 3rd. Great run for him. Bill Elliott 4th. Terry Labonte 5th. Michael Waltrip 6th. Dale Jarrett 7th. Mark Martin 8th. Elliott Sadler 9th. And Jimmy Johnson rounds out the top 10. Dale Jr. finished 23rd. Wow, he really fell back. He didn't go a lap down like we were. Well, no, he did. Dale Jr. finished a lap down today. I'm surprised. So he did go a lap down anyway. Yeah, Wallace knows. I mean, he must have been in the draft or something. I mean, I don't know how Rusty Wallace made it. Waltrip ran out right at the finish. We could have tried to stretch it, but I think we were going to be at least a lap short, if not more. That's the only reason we short pitted with 19 laps left. It worked out in a way because we finished 5th. If we would have ran out, we would have been like Waltrip. Granted, Waltrip did still finish 6th, but I don't even think we would have ran out off of 4 on the last lap. Like, I feel like we would have ran out with like 2 to go, or like just coming to get the white flag, and that would not have gotten us the top 10. So I played it better safe than sorry, and we got a little bit of luck at the finish, surprisingly. I guess the milk with the Got Milk paint scheme is not like the Cheez-Its. We just can't pull it off quite the same. We had a lot of different drivers lead laps today. Junior finished 23rd. We finished 5th. We gained a lot of points on him today. And we led the most laps. He didn't lead a single lap today. This was very unlike Dale Jr. at Talladega, especially in 2003. But Rusty Wallace gets his first win of the season. I believe that is the 16th different driver to win a race this season. It's been that kind of a year. We still have 7 races to go. Just imagine if we had the playoffs. We would have had like every spot locked up. We go to Kansas tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for your Saturday evening. Again, Kansas Speedway right here on NASCAR Thunder 2004. And right here on the channel. Rebranded channel, might I add. KRC. Going to take a look at the point standings. Junior still got, man, the fact that Dale Jr. finished 23rd and he still got a 101-point lead, I mean, it is just insane. He did lose points, but remember Bobby Labonte, who was 105 back, was in second, and he blew an engine, and then Matt Kenseth, who came into the day in the top 5 in points as well, also blew an engine. So they finished towards the back. I forgot to see who all DNF'd at the finish. My bad on that one. Kenseth falls outside of the top 5. He's back to 7th in points. Terry Labonte is 11th now, so we gained 1 spot. We passed Harvick. All because we had some guys running out of fuel at the finish. We're only 1 point behind Newman for 10th. We're still 388 back with 7 races to go. I mean, again, Dale Jr. is going to need to DNF at some point. Dale Jr. gained 71 points. Yeah, sorry, I read that wrong. Yeah, we did gain 71. If we could have won, it would have been that much better, but I mean, even Rusty Wallace made it on fuel. I mean, we would have finished second anyway, I guess. I don't think we were even ahead of Rusty. So I guess we wouldn't have won either way. One of those weird Talladega races. The top 5 are within 1 race of points, but Junior's got a pretty big gap still. It'll be interesting to see how he keeps it going forward. But a top 23rd place finish. We mentioned it was a wild card race. Anything could happen. And boy, anything happened here today. We didn't have the big one. We only had 2 cautions, and they were both single car spins, and nobody else was involved. But it all came down to that finish. We had guys running out of fuel coming across the finish line. Some guys short pitted and, were able to regain back in the top 10 like Labonte and a couple others. Jeff Burton, obviously, he finished second. He was a big goer. Rusty Wallace, the lone guy to make it on field to the end of the race. Waltrip kind of made it. He still finished 6th, even though he ran out across the line, but he could have obviously finished second if he didn't run out of fuel. Thanks for everybody watching here today. Again, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We do these full race live streams with a realistic broadcast every day, as well as other related NASCAR content. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on KRC. And we will see you guys, again tomorrow. Kansas, right here on NASCAR Thunder 04. And have a good rest of your night. I'll be back and better than ever tomorrow. And hopefully Labonte will as well. We can get another win on the season and try to cut into this points deficit.